But we're ready to go, basically, as the rollouts we're going to be seeing in the French team here. Alien perspective going through the valley, but being quite slow to the middle here. And it's this time Impo, who's much, much faster. Huge jump there from the soldier. Sake is coming in hard, but he's not going to get too much purchase. And Martin is down to 50 HP, but he's still alive, just kind of hanging around. He's not too stressed about this whole situation, protected by 2 scouts and a demo man. But here comes Kosuke, and he's unfortunately going to eat dirt for the time being. Juxed down on the other side, 5v5 at the moment. It seems that the dogs just kind of wrestled their way into the middle point. They're still hanging around. Saki's very aggressive on the mid. He's going to take down the demo man, and that's big. And I think we're immediately...
We don't know what happened, but we know this was already the point that we were at before.
We're so back, Surny.
The Frenchies won the mid. We know that.
Win, yeah, and then they have the 100%, but so does Martin on the side of T-Dogs. So... right now we're going to see a bit of a poke battle here in the choke point. Raph is just scooping out the area. He's probably going to go through China and see what the situation is over there. But we've seen this map being played before, and we always know that this particular section of the map is a bit of a stalemate. All it takes is maybe one pick to kind of give a signal to the other team. Okay, they're going to start pushing. But there's Sticky Trap over there above Raph. I'm pretty sure, yeah, that's been spotted. They're taking it down. Raph now peeking, but now he's been alerted too, and now he's just going to back away. Sake is just kind of waiting behind, making sure no one sneaks. Nebo taking down those sticky traps. I mean, well played by Impo, just trying to put the pressure down on team. Raph is not currently unspotted. He's going to put some rockets, but missed 2 of them. He's going to try to get out of this situation, but excellent stickies from Impo. Take down the roamer.
They found Phoenix on the other side as well, though. It's just a 1-for-1 trade of soldiers. Nothing much to write home about just yet. Maybe it's enough room for somebody to move on either side. Frenchies seeming very keen. They're so aggressive and choke. They really want to make use of it, but Seiko's down as well. No soldiers now, and so good. They started playing again. We can finally witness some more gaming.
Yeah.
Lord knows what happened, but the gamers are ready to go again. And we're still in a situation we were in about 5 minutes ago, aka stalemate on second.
Yeah, nothing's really happened since then.
Yeah, because literally nothing happened since then. We were just talking about nothing. But hey, look, maybe they're going to find an opening, right? Frenchie's still rearing to go. They're still pretty aggressive in choke. They do wish to make a play here at some point, bring it to an end sooner rather than later. Yeah. They're also taking a lot of damage doing so, but hey, maybe they'll find an opening.
Find an opening, yeah. You need to kind of make your own way forward, because otherwise it's just going to be this for another 30 minutes, and that's not really helping anyone. But Uber's coming out on Nebo. Nebo is just chasing down the roamer. There's a soldier there is standing still. I think that was the reason of the technical pause. Now both players are shiny. Looks like the red Uber is a little bit better. T-Dogs now have the upper hand, but Martin's very low on HP. They're going to take down the Impo here, thanks to Nebo, who is just going on a streak. He's looking for a scout as well. They're going to take down the AFK soldier, chasing down the scout underneath, but looks like second point is going to belong. Raph is there to clean up as well. And then just do well, man. This worked out.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, this was apparently off the back of whatever problems Kosuk's having, right? He's obviously AFK for a reason, so I can see why this round may end up going the way of the Frenchies for the time being, and where the pause is coming afterwards. But, you know, even if you mulligan this first round, it was off the back of technical difficulties. At the end of the day, could have been a lot better, could have been a lot worse for the Dogs if they were missing a player for half of that fight. What can you do, right? You're down 1 permanently. Couldn't even potentially have fought it. It's a bit of an upsetting one. Maybe they even restarted, but I doubt that.
It's a bit unfortunate there, I think. And, you know, the Dogs losing a point this early just for free kind of has to suck. But you just kind of have to keep your chin up, you know, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and then just basically keep going. And we're going to be looking at Alien once again rolling up through the valley. Going to make sure that he's healthy. Sake is getting quite aggressive there. Actually, already in choke. That's super huge. And most of the players are really rolling through the choke. He's going to put a lot of damage onto the demo man. Impo is a bit of a trouble, but he's going to get those arrows in. So he's still being a menace in the back. He's going through China, jumping in. I don't think they notice him. He misses the first rocket, but the second one connects. And that is medic down for T-Dogs. Now they're going to scramble a little bit. Patchouli does go down in the background, however, so that equalizes things a little bit. It's going to be just pure DM at this point. No one's getting any heals. Looks like the Frenchies have the player advantage temporarily, so they're going to use that to just force their way into the middle point, with T-Dogs forcing themselves out of the middle to second and wait for the respawns to come in.
Saving grace, really. Saving grace getting that frag onto Patchouli. It's the only thing keeping the Dogs in this at this point, because they're already on the back foot, just off the DM, off the numbers, and the chase on by Sake. He's just in so deep, manages to win that duel as well. I mean, again, perhaps more technical difficulties for that one. This would have probably been around the time the second pause came through, but still, you know, just going in so deep and still not even chasing second for it. I mean, he's still in behind. He's still being a bit of a menace, probably, just being okay, you know, he's made with his team now, but just being a thorn for a while, and they're just moving forward off it. Juxta, unfortunately, goes down.
Alien
dies to Sticky Trap as well, which is Sticky Spam. Sneaky, in the meantime, gets picked off in the backlines, trying to sneak behind. Didn't quite work out that one, and it looks like Frenchies are hanging on to this for the time being. That one frag going in their favor. Sneaky dying probably slowed them down a little bit on side of Dogs. They're still pressuring for Valley, though. They really want to have a chance of getting in this point here. Phoenix, unfortunately, pays with his life, and in the meanwhile, everybody in the combo just goes down. Yimpo and Martin both died in choke.
Yeah, that's actually going to slow the Dogs down a little bit. It's not very good for them at the moment. I mean, they have some players to kind of like try to protect the second point, maybe buy the team a little bit of time to regroup. But the French are already occupying this. It looks like, yeah, it's going to be given up without a single shot exchanged as Sake is going to respawn. I mean, it's important to have that roamer on their side, kind of like poking the enemy flank. But now Umgar is now hard scoping into it, but Alien coming out with the Uber charge, gonna focus the sentry gun immediately. It's still being built up, so that's wasted some of the Uber charge. The scout's already on the point, but the sticky trap is gonna take him down thanks to Impo. Coming into the point, there's scouts already there. Juxta now is in the crosshairs of the entire team. Raph on 3 HP hero, 2 more than he needed, but it was not enough. And now just like a scrap fight. No one's really focusing the point. Everyone's just trying to get that DM done, and without most of the team of life for the French, they decide to just leave and regroup and reheal, as Patchouli was really low on HP. And look, Martin's about to hit 100%. They don't want to risk that.
Yeah, with Patchouli leaving as well, trying to stay alive, the rest of the team can't commit to that fight anymore. Very respectable to back out of that one. An unfortunate push to not nail, but at the end of the day, it was a very good hold by the Dogs, and they've got themselves a chance now to come back out as well. They're going to get to second, perhaps have a bit of an opportunity to get onto this point. Maybe not for free. They might have to use for it as well. As long as they can get onto the French team, that's not a big deal, but they can actually bully their way into this pretty freely. Frenchies not contesting too closely for a time being. You know, they're
respecting the Uber.
Yeah,
they're respecting the Uber.
They respect it, and I mean, they're going to have their own soon as well.
Yeah.
So they'd rather just stay alive for that one, take it more equally on mid. Now, they're still technically up around. They're still, you know, in the driver's seat. They still have mid as well. They're the attacking team, and it's so difficult to push either side here, but especially to push out of second without a significant chip on your shoulder. So they gotta really try, and meanwhile the Frenchies can just keep putting on a little bit of pressure. They love being aggressive through this choke. It's working well for them. Actually, just gonna use through, almost catch Impo, but he does get caught just in time by his own Uber. So any stragglers outside of it will be the ones to fall, as Phoenix is the one taken down, and the Uber's fate, the post-Uber fight unfolds, and unfortunately for the Dogs, they just don't have the positions to do much on the second anymore. They do pick up a single frag onto Sake, but that will probably be all they can salvage in this fight before just having to back out. Kosuke almost going down as well, so they just have to salvage it, stick to last, make the most of it, see how you can get your defenses mounted once more. They held last already, they might be able to do it again.
Yeah, Uber charges are about equal. I really like what the French has done. They just basically forced their way in with the Uber charge, tried to get Martin to pop theirs, and then basically strong-arm themselves onto the point. It's worked out for them before, it's worked out again, and I don't think it's going to be the last time we see it. The Alien is going to have a lot of damage for his trouble there from the heavy weapons guy. Umgar is making sure that the demo man is kept at bay. There's a very big sticky trap on that left trap door here, or the doorway. So he's going to see if Impo is going to be able to get a kill there. Both medics currently at 100%. We're probably going to be seeing the French getting a bit impatient and trying to force their way in through the sticky trap. I'm pretty sure they're aware of this. It's a pretty common spot to put some sticks there. Impo's still quite aggressive. He's not too afraid of the two scouts, you know, being that far away. He's just gonna eat a couple of shots and then just keep up the pressure. Alien also paying in turn, making sure that nobody can go through. The pyro coming out on Sneaky there. It's also going to delay that. I think it's just the Dogs are trying to entrench themselves, make sure that the French do not have a chance. Sake coming in, looking for an opportunity. Raph as well, trying to double it, but they both lose, and now they have to fall back since they don't have both soldiers.
Yeah, it's an interesting last hole as well, because usually you see your demo up on this left side instead, right, holding the upper door. So if you have your demo over on the other side, you're really putting a lot of confidence in your pyro and your soldier in this case to really shut down that door. And it did a good job, and then baiting out the soldier bombs, kiting them well enough, only trading one on your side, which doesn't really matter in that case. Worked out wonderfully. They bought themselves some time. Obviously nothing to push out of for the Dogs here. They still have to hold last anyway, and the Ubers weren't exchanged, so they still got to deal with the pressure regardless. But they bought themselves some time. They got themselves a full level 3 setup now. It's actually just a level 2, never mind. And it does get spammed down as well, but it buys some time. Raph gets taken down as well. Sake not in a great position either, and they found Juxta in the midst of it as well. So again, just a sack wave by the Frenchies, and the most they get is 1 soldier down to 1 HP.
The thing is, though, like, because of the picks that the T-Dogs have chosen, like the Pyro and the Heavy, it's just going to slow them down a lot. Like, I mean, that's just textbook dispatch of a Pyro. But that's going to also allow them to have Sneaky change the class back to something that's a bit faster. You know, them kind of picking Heavy, picking Engineer, and picking a Pyro slows them down on the offense. So that means, you know, French can kind of risk getting a bit more risky. Look, Rap's coming in, looking for a force. He's unfortunately going to get piped straight into the teeth. Impo's trying to pay them back in turn and putting some nice pipes in the enemy team. A lot of splash damage, but nothing really sealing the deal there for him. Koski on the flank as well, duking it out. Juxta trying to force his way into the point, but the sentry gun is pushing him back. He's trying to also fight Phoenix. It's just a lot of scrap fighting, but no one's really making a big push. And the thing is that French are trying to just kind of keep knocking at the door without using their Uber charge, maybe trying to force the enemy Uber charge. And T-Dog's just too slow. With those off classes, they're just too slow. They don't have enough time. Even if they pick 2-3 players, it takes them such a long time to get to second. It's just not worth it. So they just are hoping for a full wipe before they do that.
It's a tough situation. At this point, with 2 minutes left on the clock as well, it might even be more advisable to just try to go for that round reset. Go to a mid fight. You get 2 points out of it instead of just 1. Sake again, super low, does get picked off as well, so he won't be going in. But they do find Impo on the other side. Crucial pick if you're trying to push into last. Sure, your soldier's going to be out of it, and he's going to be respawning at roughly the same time. But if you want to go, you can go now. No demo on the other side means no stickies. The sentry's dealt with as well. If the sentries want to have a chance, this is their opportunity. Just get on that point, bully people off of it as best you can, trying to deal with the sentries that just keep getting built, but they can't quite find it. Juxta and Raf both taken down once more. They just can't quite find the openings they want to, and the Dogs just ruling this point with an iron fist right now. Nobody is getting in there for free somehow. Even if the sentry's level 1, it somehow gets kills.
Yep. And it's just not going to be an easy time for the Dogs to really push out of this either. I mean, the French are not going to let this point go. I mean, look at the sticky traps as well. It's just a complete trench warfare going on right now in between the lobby and the last point. Neither team really can capitalize on the opportunities they bring, but the Uber's just going to come out. They are done waiting. They're pushing in, trying to take down the Pyro, but the Uber coming out of Martin saves the Pyro. Now Sneaky is just going to W+M1 forward, trying to get the people out of the point, out of the safe area. Nobody died in that exchange, but at least the Ubers are down. And now we're going to be looking at Sake trying to get maybe a pick there, but he's going to get picked himself. Nice job there by Impo. It's just crumbling once again. I mean, the French losing all players. They're losing Patchouli as well. That's big.
Doesn't matter. Like, again, if you were pushing out here, if you didn't have 17 minutes left, this would be huge for the Dogs. And they're actually going to do it. That's with 20 seconds on the clock. I guess they were maybe expecting that.
Ooh, yeah.
But with 20 seconds on the clock, I actually have to cast severe aspersions upon capturing the point here. You could have just waited 10 seconds.
And it will be reset.
Gotten it for free, basically.
Yeah, it will be
gone for another mid fight. Now you have to just fight for this mid your own way. I mean, again, they're up in Uber, so maybe they're fighting their chances with it. Fair enough, right? It's good momentum to roll with. It's not the worst play possible. But most of the teams you would have seen go for the round reset there. So the fact that they didn't is quite ballsy. And with 1 soldier down already and a lot of players low as well, Martin no Uber to respond with, even if he was going to get low. And yeah, they have to back off a little bit again, huh? They got to deal with these back cappers as well. Just time being bought so much by these people going in behind Alien, just somehow slipping through. Sake still in dungeon as well. I don't think he's been spotted whatsoever.
It's an interesting strategy, Surny. I'm just looking if it pans out for T-Dogs. They're just kind of trying to bore French to death by sandbagging the last point, and then now that they have some openings, they're trying to play a little bit more aggressively. I mean, Raf coming in for China, trying to take down Sneaky and Phoenix, but that's just gonna get him in a boatload of trouble. Now Impo's gonna move in. You know, the Dogs are actually reclaiming middle point. That's quite big. You know, 16 minutes down, left on the clock. So we'll see if that works out for them. Umger pushing in through China together with Impo, looking for some frags. Not seeing much, but Uber's coming out. 100% is also on the enemy team, but they do drop Alien there. That's unfortunate for Patchouli. That was just only Scout that he can flash. He's going to be looking around, just kind of stalemating this for a little bit longer. I mean, the French are going to be probably able to hold on to this, but it seems that the T-Dogs are not done just yet. They're moving in. Koska in the lower ground is going to get cleaned up. Now Sneaky is just putting pot shots in the enemy team. Sake coming in to clean up shop here.
Yeah, and he's finding the cleanup that matters. That's such an early pick onto Alien as well. That could have gone so well for the Dogs, but they lose both of their soldiers and the other side of the Uber, just not caught in it whatsoever or anything, and the fight just crumbles from there, right? The rest of the team just gets picked up slowly but surely as they dive in, and ultimately, Frenchies stay in control, they recap mid, and we're back to basically a flipped situation. Frenchies have a huge Uber ad, they're already sending in their soldiers as well, going in deep, even if Sneaky's on the sniper, trying to maybe, catch him off guard a little bit here. Second still has to be capped. They see that sniper dot, they've definitely seen the sniper, and the element of surprise is completely vanished in an instant, so they gotta hold last again, and they gotta do it against a full Uber as well. These Frenchies, they've struggled pushing this last so far, but this is the best situation they've had in a while. No sentry, nothing to worry about. Okay, well, it's a level 2, but, it gets dealt with pretty quickly. They found a lot of ground as well. They unfortunately lose Nevo straight away as well, though, and they're not finding much ground all of a sudden. They just get pushed back so easily. The heavy has not been dealt with whatsoever. Pyro's claiming a lot of ground. They only lost 1 player, but it still was such a shambolic push.
Yeah, it was really well executed from the gate. Alan getting perfect Uber at the right exact moment to make sure that he is buffed to 260. But, except for that, and except for doing quite a bit of damage, there's just no cleanup that happened after this. There was no follow-up. So now T-Dogs are ruling this game with 100% Uber charge. They're feeling themselves a little bit more, so they're pushing out, but they're still not aggressive enough. They're just too timid about this. You have this Uber advantage. And now you're losing it to Patchouli, who's just about to hit 100 again, and once again attack your last. The French are not going to give up. They're just going to keep going and going if you just decide to play this defensively. I mean, T-Dogs, they're holding on. I got to give them that. But they really need to start making some plays here.
Yeah, you can't win by just holding last, especially when you're down around. You actually have to do something yourself, and maybe my call was right that they shouldn't have pushed out at the earlier opportunity, just stayed and gone for the round reset. They're becoming absolute masters at holding last, but it's just not working for them. Phoenix just gets destroyed in the air.
Never gonna win any war if you just defend.
Exactly. Especially when you're already losing. Again, this is not like we're looking at an equal score here and the Frenchies can't just win the round. Sure, they might have won the first round off a bit of technical difficulties, but they're still up around. And you've got to do something if you're the Dogs. You can't just keep sitting back, waiting for the Frenchies to make severe mistakes. Because even if they're not getting these pushes done, it's not like they're losing disastrously when they mess up, right? They lose like a couple of players and then just back out again, and what do you do then, right?
Yeah, well, they say you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but let's hope this dog does hell learn. Because it needs to happen. Something needs to happen. But now we see Nevo on the sniper. They're looking like French are kind of trying to see any sort of hole in the defense of the dog team here. Seeing the medic. I think they realize Martin is not going to just let this one slide. And now that they are aware the sniper is alive and in the choke point, they're going to try to spam Nevo out. I think that was a smart choice. But now Nevo, they know that the sniper is alive, and then there's going to be a bit of a problem. So Martin needs to stay a little bit more careful. He can't just be running around like a headless chicken.
He's going in close now, so yeah, you're gonna have a much harder time getting the sniper any angles, and it's gotta be a bit of a hero shot, but they do find Sake, which means, opens up a bit of ground for the Dogs again to just not have to worry about it. And at this point, again, I hate to be that guy, but just go for the round reset. Even if it's 2 minutes, you still have 10 minutes afterwards, you still have plenty of time to work with. If you're not gonna push out.
Maybe you get a good play out of it, just kind of reset the stage, because right now we've just been looking at the
blank
lobby
slate.
and last for the past 15 minutes.
They just don't know how to get out of it. Just go for a blank slate. Maybe it'll suit you better, right? Maybe you can get some momentum off a mid-fight. Just try not to lose for now. And, well, they're giving you another angle. He gets a shot onto the sentry. Fair enough, it gets taken down. That's
there you go.
Decent enough. That opens things up for a soldier, perhaps, to do something on the other side. And
there's
that's exactly what he's doing. Raph is in immediately. That's not quite set. Oh, no.
That's going to be big. That's going to be so big.
Not enough. No, it is.
Oh, my God. There's a drop. There's a drop. That's huge. That's what the French were waiting for. And now they have a full overcharge advantage. They can completely roll out and take this one. Omger is also down. They really need to use this advantage, but it looks like T-Dog's just been let loose. They've broken the chains and they're looking for people. The French are playing it really safe. They're staying, we have the advantage now. We get to play the cards. We're just going to play it safe. We're not going to risk it because you could see how savage they got.
I can't believe that splash actually got him. I was so convinced that last rocket was not going to kill Martin.
He was holding onto it so long.
He really believed it too. He believed it too.
It's so over now.
That's disastrous, but still, we've seen the Frenchies in a situation before with an ad this size, and they still couldn't do it. So we'll see if they can finally get something done. Is the Uber drop going to be enough for them? Will they be able to actually convert a last push? As the Uber comes in, they find the sentry eventually as well. No frags fall on either side just yet, but Chul's actually going to be the first to fall for the side of the Frenchies. They find a couple of frags on the other side as well, namely Martin, so no heals for anybody. Lots of cap time as well, but the Pyro is doing so much work. The explosives pushing people off the point. Alien is low and taken down. It's only a Soul Scout with Nevo left, and once more,
we're so back.
The Dogs somehow hold it, and it's the exact same situation that we had 5 minutes ago. Are they going to push out off of this? Surely not this time around. No, they're sticking back. They know what's at stake. Just let it reset. Go for a blank slate.
Yeah. You have 10 minutes left on the clock. You know, you just have to waste half a minute, so it's fine. I mean, the defense shown by the Dogs is absolutely cracked, but at the same time, all you're doing is defending against the blows from the French team. Like, you're not really trying to get out too much because you're afraid of the risk of losing last. You really kind of have to do it. You're all playing from behind, essentially. I mean, you have another map to play, but you need to do something. 5 seconds left on the clock.
And that's all it's going to be. I don't think the Frenchies are going to send anything else in anymore. They're not going to get much overtime either. And we're going to the round reset. 9.5 minutes left on the clock. Plenty of time for the Dogs to put up a round or two. Yeah, if they can find some footing.
9.5 minutes is 9 minutes and 29 seconds more than they need.
Well, no, because once the round timer runs out, there's no overtime. Actually, I'm not sure that once the map timer runs out. So they do only have 9 minutes. They probably have this one round if it doesn't get won immediately, and they got to make something work. So let's see if this mid-fight suits them a little bit better. Yimpo, again, much faster on the rollout, but there's a fast bomb coming his way as well. Then chooses to go Cafe instead. Does just divert his attention there, but still, Frenchie's being a little bit slower to the mid, being a bit more coagulated as well, though, and Sake will get taken down for just being a bit too aggressive early on. Nice little rocket there as well to cut people off and choke, and eating a lot of damage on the side of the Dogs. They finally lose their first player as well with Sneaky. Still 2 players down for the side of the Frenchies, namely Alien, so they're going to be lacking a lot of damage, and just off the back of that, the Dogs managed to win the mid-fight.
Yeah, it's big. That's actually big.
They just got 2 points by waiting for the round to reset. Which, look at that.
So essentially what you said about 10 minutes ago, what should have happened 10 minutes ago, happened now. You know,
I hate to see it as much as the next person, but it was the right play in this situation, and it may very well give them a little bit of steam to keep going forward as well. Phoenix, unfortunately, just gets caught out. Won't be able to do much, and Impo is also just caught in way too deep. Traded out 2 for 1. That being Raph on the other side going down. Not going to be the best trade deal in history, and gives the Frenchies a lot of stuff to work with, but Patchouli ate a lot of damage walking through choke, so they're actually just going to have to use their Uber. Obviously, it's going to be responded with by Martin and Kind, so they're going to fade it around the same time, but players-wise, the Frenchies looking much better. They find Sneaky as well, and they just have to keep backing out. The Dogs can't fight this anymore. They don't have the players present on mid. And the Frenchies are right back in it.
Looked really dicey there for Martin for a second. He only had a scout to heal, and yeah, there was an entire French Air Force coming down, so they really needed to use the last bit of Uber to get the medic to safety. Now we're back to square one, although we're now locking on the second point of the Dogs team. Alien going quite deep forward, doing a lot of damage, and that is getting cleaned up by Sake as well. So this is working really out for them. They're just pushing in. They do catch Phoenix off guard thanks to Nevo, and now we're back to square one once again, knocking on the last door. Nevo looking on the flank. Neither medic really has the Uber charge, and that French just want to use that to maybe put some potholes and maybe put some meat shots in there. I mean, they're doing the damage. They're just lacking the follow-up there. Nevo just leading the charge. He's completely on the fray and non-punished. The pyro goes down. That's actually quite big. Low HP is Nevo, but he reunites with the medic. Gets Raph is a very good position. Oh, he's going to blow himself up, unfortunately. Phoenix respawning. He's going to claim that kill. That's 3 players down for the side of blue. And once again, French are being pushed out, but I don't know if the Dogs are going to follow up. They should.
And they kind of have to. They don't have much time to work with anymore. Another round reset would leave them unable, probably. And you know what?
That was a drop.
A little drop onto Patchouli's probably going to turn things around quite nicely for him. Just got to keep Martin in the game now, and ideally not even have to use. But there's so much pressure coming out of the Frenchies. They know how to switch the script just as easily. And Nevo's
just going on last right now.
They're going to have to come back for him. And it's only Impo for the time being. Finally, Scout comes to meet him as well. And, well, the DM be enough. They do eventually find him, but it took a lot. He still traded out a kill as well. Martin gets cleaned up in the mid-time as well. No way. Sake just finds that kill. Martin just dies.
Oh no, that's huge actually. I mean, Patchouli doesn't have an Uber charge, but that doesn't really matter. Saki is just trying to chase down Impo, but he's going to survive now. Joxta joining the fight. He's putting some pot shots in the enemy scouts, but scouts come out on top once again. The Dogs are so low in HP, but they're going to die, and that's a second point going to the way of the French. Once again, that gap widens. Dogs are going to play even further from behind.
Hard fought.
Hard fought.
Hard fought for the Frenchies to get the second round on the board, but they finally got it on the board, and the Dogs are going to be having a really rough time trying to get anything out of Sunshine at this point. 5.5 minutes, it's possible to get 2 rounds, but they really have to start picking up the pace, and they've just not been looking like their aggressive team right now.
No,
they've been doing a good job defending, but unfortunately that doesn't win you the game, and we'll have to see if they can switch that around and become the aggressor team. I guess we'll start with this mid-fight and see how that goes for them. They won the last one kind of before it fell apart a little bit later, and they're not looking great already with Sake just getting sent directly into Martin. and easily claiming that mid frag. So no heals for the side of the dogs is going to make this a lot harder to deal with, especially when Patchouli is safe and sound and is sitting right behind his team. Now he's dropping a lot of players for his troubles, and you have a soldier slipping in behind as well. And actually, there's lots of people who are on the dogs just trying to slip in and seeing what they can do. Scouts doing their best to try and protect their medic, and you know what? They're doing a marvelous job.
Just with a triple there, actually. Evo doing a lot of work as well. I mean, Sake is going to pick himself up another kill. That's 4 down for the side of dogs, and that gives a signal to the French team to just start moving in the middle, take it back. Now, they do have the Uber advantage, as Martin did go down in the last fight, and that is going to give them even more steam going into the last 5 minutes of this game. Impo is just waiting for the medic, trying to build that Uber charge, but it's such a disadvantage. I mean, 50%. The second point is as good as done for the French team. They're just going to move in without much of a fight. Once again, dogs are just going to do what they do best, and that's defend. But they also need to start finding some of those cracks in the offense. Ooh, but Martin's
he's in no man's land.
That's so aggressive of him and very risky, but he does survive, protected by his team. And Raph picks up Phoenix, though. So they do lose a player for this little escapade there into the lobby area.
Well, Alien dies somehow through the backstab by Sneaky. He manages to do exactly what his namesake says. Slip in, somehow not get caught either. Decloaks right in front of 2 scouts, though. Honestly, bold play. I gotta respect it. But hey, maybe it was done. He already got his claimed kill. Delayed him a little bit with Alien dying. Unfortunately, use your own demo as well on the other side. And still, even if the Ubers are equal, you're holding last again. And the Frenchies have kind of learned a thing or two about pushing this last. They're approaching it a bit differently now. They're not just trying to send it in from the top once more. Again, probably also because they're waiting for Alien to come back to the team, but they're going to be trying to approach it a bit differently. They got the sentry taken down. They do lose their scout. Juxta does go down eventually, but Raph just slips in behind now with no sentry to worry about. Tries to do a little bit of havoc and gets a force.
Yeah, force is actually quite important here. He's still fighting, though. That, you know, Sake is just trying to delay the enemy team as much as possible, to waste that Uber charge. Now, Patchouli is with the 100. He's going to have to pop, though. He's giving too much force from Kosuke there, and Naruto running his way into the medic, making sure that the medic does pop. But now Evo chasing down Alien. Alien's going to go down as well. It's just a lot of kills going left, right, and center, but Patchouli going down for the count. Martin does survive, and is going to secure that Uber advantage, but Martin's in a world of trouble because there's 2 hungry players on the team right now. Omgar is getting healed, trying to protect the medic as best he can. He does a very marvelous job, but Martin's so low in HP, he's going to finally go down. Too much pressure, man. I mean, should have left. You know, there's a lot of belief that was put into the scout to protect, but it's just not going to be enough.
They were in between a rock and a hard place as well, though, because Raph was still on
trying
last.
His best.
Yeah, Raph was still on last as well, so even if they backed out, they were still going to have trouble with Soldier. So they were already caught in a bad place, and I think with 2 minutes left on the clock, it's definitely curtains for the dogs to try and get anything out of Sunshine at this point. So I guess they can continue practicing their last holds as they've been doing for the past 20 minutes, but at the end of the day, they gotta really just accept that they're not gonna get anything out of this. Sure, they might be able to mount a little bit of a push now, get themselves a little bit of a morale boost, a little bit of momentum, even if they just lost Martin to a sticky trap once more. And they claim a couple of soldier kills, but if anything, they're just giving themselves another round on the side of Frenchies now with that full Uber to work with, and just a lot of scrappy, chaotic fights that maybe they're trying to turn the tides with, but it's ultimately not amounting to much.
Yeah, getting even 1 point on the board would kind of put them in a better mood for the second game. But at the moment, looking for an air shot. Does get an air shot, but there was an Uber popped by Patchouli, so he does save himself. Ooh, a nice hit there as well from Sake. Taking down Phoenix, now pushing into the last 3 players down on the side of red. They don't have the Uber charge either, and Medic's getting focused here by Sake, and then not finishing the job, however. Martin does survive, hits the reset blocker. A bit of a scrap fight there as well. Raph is low on HP, and then, Patchouli's all by himself at the moment on the second point. Gonna be reunite with the soldier, and just kind of keep running away. I mean, there's 1 minute left on the clock. There's not much that can happen, but dogs are still not out of this yet. They're just gonna start, they're out of this in a very logical impossibility case scenario.
Yeah, but it's only 1 map.
But you do, they want to still fight. They're not giving up yet. They still have the morale. They still are showing that they're ready to keep going. So I think that's the most important thing. Sneaky just going on the point. They're just gonna take the point away from the French. The French are currently just falling back. Maybe they need to practice some defense.
Look, they've given themselves a chance here to actually pick up a round on the board, make it a 2-1, make it seem a lot closer than it was for the most part, because if we're looking at pure map control, the Frenchies had, 90% possession or something like that. They were completely in control of most of it. But hey, if the dogs can give themselves an opportunity to push last here, at least have an attempt at it, see what it's like, and see if the Frenchies are as good at holding last as their side is, as the Uber comes out. for both sides. It's going to be a little bit better for the Frenchies, but they also lose a player on either side. And the health is looking a lot better for the Dogs as they clean up player after player. Nice little pipe as well.
Yeah.
And they're finding the frags onto the French somehow. The Dogs
There's a point.
Get that morale
3
boost.
seconds before the end
points.
clock. They do get a point. I think it's important.
And if you count out the round they lost to technical difficulties, it's technically 1-1.
It could be technically, but you know, we're not playing technicalities here. It is what it is, you know, as they say. It is what it is. You're gonna have to roll with the punches.
What can you do? I guess we'll have to wait until tomorrow. But the teams are raring to go on Gully Wash, and that's what matters. So we'll see if the Dogs can find their way back into this match, or the Frenchies are just gonna make it a clean 2-0 on maps and take it away for the first day. Finally ended on a high note as the Dogs try to claw back from the jaws of defeat, and Martin is the first to die, so it's already looking pretty dire on the first mid-fight. But that's all so far. Okay, now they find a couple more frags, but they also get a couple on the side of the Frenchies, to be fair, right? The demo going down, Patchouli only protected by his Soul Scout and Nevo, and I mean, if things have gone a bit differently, that could have very well been a medic pick. There's still a couple of stragglers trying to get on him, and they do a bit of damage as well, but eventually, surely they just manage to get everybody out of there, and it
was just Nevo and Patchouli, you know, just working, just like that.
That's what matters.
And I really like the fancy footwork from Patchouli, just kind of jumping around on crates and back and using the elevation, just kind of throw off the aim of the enemy team. You know, just kind of keeping himself alive and making sure that Nevo gets the support he needs to get the jump down to clean up the Dog team. But now it looks like a dog kind of weather out there, because Dogs once again are pushed to last and they're going to be trying to defend this.
It's a bit of a different story. It's a different point, different layout, perhaps different strategies they got.
But they have the defense on lockdown, man. I believe.
Yeah, they got Umgar on the sniper as well, seeing what can happen. They're pretty close to their own Uber as well. It's not like they're too far behind. Even if this Uber comes in for the Frenchies, they find a bit of ground. As long as they can buy enough time for Martin to get his own, which is slowly but surely approaching. They got the heavy up as well, being healed up. No cap time. Finally, some being put on by Sake, but it's not a lot. He gets cleaned off the point. Alien dies as well, and the Frenchies have to pack out of that. There's not much else they can do. At least they got the force out of Martin as he's trying desperately to keep the rest of his team alive. And you know, even with 3 frags down, I think that's still an okay trade going to Frenchie's favor. They managed to keep themselves whole a second, because there's no way you're pushing out with a player down. I mean, they're certainly trying to take some ground in lobby, but it's not that easy for the Dogs to commit to this too much. Even if they get second, they can't take mid at all, and they have to worry about the Frenchies being very aggressive with that bit of Uber at they have. Yep. And they're already being aggressive through big doors, so they know that they can work off of this. So we'll see if they stick it through. 6 in deep does probably get cleaned up here eventually, but not before trading out with a bit of help from Alien as well. Phoenix gets taken down, and perhaps this gives them the opening they need already. As they use their Uber in, Ippo gets taken down. Martin is caught without anybody to heal, without anything to use on. And yeah.
Here Kosuke is
also
trying to run away, but
Patchouli picked up his medigun too. He's got 60% again. It doesn't matter because they won the round anyway off the back of it. But
they were so far in. The Dogs were just so far in. They just kind of completely forgot about what the one thing that they're the best at.
The defense.
The defense.
Holding last. The objective that they were so focused on the last map.
But it's like a weather way, you know, going left and right and just kind of like, you know, what are we going to do? Are we going to overextend or over-defend? But right now, it's just not looking too bright for them. You know, they're down the point, and the game just started, though, so there's still a lot of time. They still can equalize this. They're still very much in this, so you're looking at Impa once again, just a really fast loadout, already putting sticks on the medic, and Patchouli is going to get a stick under his feet. Then Jakeowaty is going to make his way on top of the point here and cause some trouble. Phoenix, nice wall jump, coming in really high, gets that little lip there, spot, and so much damage being dished out on the French team. Raph going down, Alien going down, Phoenix still alive, taking some damage, but oh no,
Martin on the other side.
Going down to Jakeowaty, just using that distraction from the soldier. Phoenix, good distraction there, and good damage too.
It wasn't quite enough. Now they obviously got to keep Patchouli safe as well. He's dealing a lot of damage. Matter of fact, Phoenix does somehow come through. I think it was Kosuk, my bad. He comes through, gets that kill eventually, so they still equalize it, and it's actually so much better for the Dogs. Martin's already back up, he's already back healing. Patchouli ain't going to be alive for another 7 seconds. This is actually a pretty sizable ad. Mid hasn't been capped yet. Sure, the Frenchies might get it now, but they won't be hanging on to it for very long, that's for sure. These Dogs, they know they gotta go.
Ooh, they're already there.
They haven't had to work with as well. Sake's being aggressive, trying to maybe catch somebody, but it's not gonna happen that easily. And if the Dogs have any ounce of spurt in them, they will definitely be trying to get into this midpoint as soon as possible.
They should actually try to see if there may be a soft push without an Uber charge would actually net them some kind of advantage here. Oh, but there's so much damage coming out of Sake, and with the help of the scout just kind of distracting is claimed to death. or has claimed the life of Sneaky. So that's one player down this team of Dogs, and they're still kind of hanging out back. They have a 100% Uber charge. I mean, it's only 65 on the Patchouli. Patchouli's quite defensive though, so I don't think he's too stressed about this whole situation. Raph is also providing a lot of intel. Sake still behind enemy lines and still providing that very valuable intel of what the Dogs are doing. Ooh. What the Dog doing. Well, and what the Dog's doing is sitting on the second point.
Cleaning up the flank, though. They were put in a bit of a tough position, because like they could have moved off that Uber ad, but they've been wasted so much time now. Okay, Phoenix trades out for Raph at least, and they're going to go for the exchange, actually. But I could have gone so much better for the Dogs, but they were split with that flank behind them, and now, I mean, they had to go for the exchange. It worked out wonderfully for them. They got pretty much everybody taken down on the side of the Frenchies, except for the medic target that they would love at the end of it, but still, they get their way into mid. They get these Frenchies bullied out. They now got to deal with Jux the sniper, though, who's going to line up a shot. Doesn't quite hit the medic just yet, and now they're aware. So they're going to make it a lot harder to get anything for the sniper done. They're still very ambitious by Impo to just peek that, but he knows that the charge shot isn't going to come through anytime soon, and they find Sake traded out for a soldier of their own with Kosuk going down. So hey, still going all right for the Dogs. Still in equal player situations, and if there was a fight to unfold and the sniper isn't hitting a shot before people even come in, he's going to be dead weight in the fight, probably. So they might be able to move off of that if they so desire, but they're taking too long. They're giving him time to get overhealed and set up again, charge up his shots, and the Ubers are going to be in play. So Dogs playing a little bit more slower pace. You can't blame them. They got plenty of time to still work with Angoli Wash here, but hey, at least they're not sitting on their own last for once.
Exactly, and I think that's a big win, especially in terms of morale. And just pushing into the French a little bit further up here, going through the big door. Kosuke is just catching up with the rest of the team. Phoenix in the back line here in the river side. Jumping in, he's trying to pick that fight, hoping for the medpack, but no, he's gonna get strafed in, and Sake is the one that's gonna claim the medpack.
Yeah, I guess they cleaned up afterwards though, trade out for Sneaky effectively, so it's still 1-by-1 trades and sacks, and I guess you're making sure the Frenchies can't sack in any soldiers themselves, and keeping your own soldier in the game maybe opens up things a little bit for you here if you really wanted to be keen about it.
Go for Patchouli, but Patchouli has been playing really good.
Yeah, he's been so passive, just doing a great job. Like he eats a rocket there, but it was completely out of harm's way. Nobody else could have followed up with it. Whatever, right? He gets a bit of damage on him. No big deal. They're right back to just holding the doors closed. No soldier now. Well, one soldier much rather missing for the Dogs, and they're struggling to really find their way into the second point. At least they're in a situation where they can try it. They're in control of mid. They're on the other side of the map, on the enemy side for once. It's a novel situation already, and I believe this was their map pick as well. So it wouldn't surprise me necessarily if maybe it suits them a little bit more. But they gotta find their way into this. They're still down around. They went down early, so.
Just taking it slow once again. Yeah. Just kind of trying to scope out the situation. I mean, there is a little strike force here in the big door. Phoenix is going to be looking at some kind of damage here on the flank, but the French, once again, really good positioning out in the open, which means that no one can really get a lot of that splash damage, but they're looking for. Impo is not going to follow up, put some stickies on the enemy team, but it's no big deal. They're just going to shrug it off here, the French team. And Phoenix in behind, looking to go up the river area, maybe from the lobby, maybe look for a flank there. Now Alien having a bit of a scrap here with Impo. Impo's going to get raw juggled there. Another stick, but it's not going to be enough.
Oh, Phoenix slips in, does get a lot of damage onto the demo, will not get that kill cleaned up though. Nice arrow as well to keep Alien right back in it, and that sack play didn't amount to anything. Now the Frenchies probably going to be sending their own out. Sake's already on mid, the scout following up as well, and Evo's just running down the combo all by his lonesome. Gets the force as well, no pressure onto Patchouli whatsoever to try and get this counter force out or any form of exchange underway. Finally a bit of damage on him, but it's nowhere near enough to make that man press his right mouse button. That's not going to happen, and suddenly the Frenchies have flipped the script completely. They're in charge and they are keeping it up. Kosuke goes down as well. Impo low means nothing can be contested, and they have to get back out of this. Full Uber for the Frenchies as well to work with, and yeah, the Dogs are going to be holding last off the back of that. Nice huge bomb by Phoenix, but he decides to immediately dip out of that one with the scouts noticing him. So just get back to last, try to help your team out. That's already being pushed on last because the Uber comes in straight away.
And they're just using it to their fullest advantage, pushing out the enemy team, pushing onto the point. There is a demo hidden beneath, which is going to be a bit of a problem to clean up, but Nevo once again just sticking to the medic. That marriage is working out for them. A lot of kills, scrappy fights coming out, and it looks like the French team is just going to hit themselves on the rocks on the shore and not really get much out of that Uber charge. I mean, it was well played, but it just lacked the follow-up. It's just the scattered team from T-Dogs has really worked out. Sneaky is just chasing down the soldier. Gonna pick up Raph And that's a good pickup as well, because that means one of the soldiers is just down for the count. Should open up this nice little flank here, and with the Uber advantage from Martin, they should just use it right away. I mean, they just use it, go for Patchouli.
If you can get to Patchouli, unfortunately, that man has been a bit of an enigma to the enemy team sometimes. They can't really find him
It's
a lot of the time.
It's just Nevo and Patchouli, man.
Yeah, they just keep running out.
You stick a scout on the medic, and
some people would maybe say French cowardice, but you know, it's been working for them. There's absolutely no pressure onto this French team. They get their own Uber going again as well. I mean, well played by them. They know the situation they're in. They know that they can just try to do this off of the second fight once more. And a nice little sticky trap there onto Sneaky is certainly going to open things up for them a little bit more as well and slow down the dogs ever so slightly, as they cannot really afford to do much else now. And they've already got a soldier in on mid as well, trying to cause a little bit of havoc. Not much getting done for Raph as he just escapes with his life, and Sake dies in his stead. But it's a sack. It's basically a free sack, right? You had your soldier down on the other, or much of a scout down on the other side, so you might as well try. Again, they're up around, so the Frenchies can throw up more stuff. They can take more risks. They can afford to at least be a little bit more eager. As Phoenix tries to bomb in, gets a lot of damage, gets a force out of Patchouli.
Really dangerous. And I think Patchouli just waited until the very last moment to pop this one, and now the counter pop comes out of Martin. Using that onto Sneaky. Sneaky's just coming to clean up shop, chasing the Patchouli, but there is a Nevo right there. And now his Nevo's going to go down, finished off as well. And now Jakeowaty is the designated driver for this medic combo. And the dogs are just currently swarming middle. Raph is behind. He's looking for some pickups, but he's just going to fumble the jump. And now he's going to pick up the health back. Jakeowaty now joining the party, looking for some pot shots onto Martin. Martin's going to go down there thanks to Sake. And now Jakeowaty following up with another onto KritzKast. And now it just all crumbles. Wow, that was really promising out of the dogs. But no, the French just kind of like went back, regrouped, went back in, picked up the medic, gone the hold, shop done.
It was such good positioning for the dogs, but they overstayed their welcome. They got caught up behind the rock, and suddenly both soldiers show up and just bomb the hell out of them, and it just crumbles from there, right? They just get dismantled by the amount of damage coming their way. They can't really... They're spread thin, like looking around the rock. You don't really see people where they're shooting you from. It's a tough situation to be in. Phoenix gets spotted immediately as well for the high jump. That's not going to happen. They know about that one. They know to check it, and unfortunately, you're not getting anything done with it. Back to last, the dogs go. Now, realistically, though, depending on how quickly the Frenchies move, there might be an Uber in play. Martin is getting there slowly but surely, only 20% left.
Second Uber
He
charge
might get it in time. He might have to wait a little bit kite for a while, but they did a good job with it already, so I can see it going their way again as the Frenchies moving from river this time around. Hopping early as well, making sure they get everybody invincible as they can. Unfortunately, Jakeowaty just walks onto the point and gets blown to bits immediately. Sake taken care of as well, and the counter Uber comes through. They just mulch, meat grind everybody on that French team. Raph below the point, being a bit of a menace, eventually gets cleaned up as well, though. It's only Alien left, and he's just running with the tail tucked between his legs.
Wow, that was an amazing play out of KritzKast and Phoenix. Just working in tandem, just collapsing on the enemy team and just completely decimating what was left of that push. Now it's T-Dogs who are in driving seat for this one. You know, we haven't seen a point in the past 12 minutes, I think. So the dogs are still down a point. They're still down a map. Still could be anyone's game at this stage, but Nevo is now on the sniper. I mean,
they're not ready for this. I don't think they're ready for the sniper to be there.
Are you ready for this?
It just depends on if they're going big door, then you know he's gonna have a much less important angle here. And it looks like the dogs are rearing to go through big door as well, which means that the sniper realistically doesn't do much. They even pop early, trying to maybe catch something like that from happening. Unfortunately, it's an Uber into the void. They don't find anything with it. They do a little bit of damage, and that's about it. And now your medic almost got headshot by Nevo, who is now in this. He's gonna ring one off onto Limpo instead, who narrowly escapes death as he retreats into his own choke. And you know, the Frenchies, they're trying to find their way back in this. Unfortunately, Phoenix jumps across as well. There's a lot of damage onto the combo. No cleanup or follow-up there just yet, but they found a couple of frags. Nevo and Sake both down. Crucially, that means the French is going to have a hard time even using this Uber to really push in, at least for a while longer.
Yeah, I just have to give some props to Patchouli once again. I mean, he just surfed that rocket away. I mean, he could have been really disastrous, but he just was anticipating this, and he surfed away into the back of the garage and was, you know, safe and sound, protected by his own team. I mean, I'm really liking what I'm seeing from Patchouli in general. You know, seeing a couple of their games, just being very, very smart, thoughtful medic, like just incredible 200 IQ plays there.
It's working out.
It's working out. And look, just whole team buffed up completely. Uber charge.
Crucially, on the other side, Martin has managed to build his own Uber again as well, though. So the dogs are back in this. They're not to be counted out. They've bought themselves enough time with holding off that push, and Sneaky trying to do the thing in his namesake,
Took
maybe
a
slip in.
rocket there.
Unfortunately, yeah, that rocket really put an end to that immediately, and he's just gonna have to try and get back with his team, get a buff going again as well. This lower garage, you know, flank on goalie. We've seen the Frenchies do it. It worked really well for a while. 2 players getting in behind. We've seen the Dogs try it time and time again. Lots of times Phoenix slips in, but it hasn't really worked out super well for either team. They buy themselves a bit of time, they buy a bit of a distraction, but they can't capitalize on it. They can't coordinate it well enough to really do much with it. As Soldier tries to get through here, Kosuk unfortunately just gets anti-aired immediately, but Julie gets a little bit of damage on him, a chip on your shoulder, and Raph gets cleaned up trying to counter sack. So they find Impo though as well, and it's going to be an exchange and choke. Unfortunately, with a demo missing, the post Uber is going to look a lot worse for the Dogs, especially with how much less they had to flash on the side of Frenchies as well. Still positioning-wise, though, Frenchies aren't willing to chase out any of it, and I guess they're just going to keep the mid on the side of the Dogs.
It's a little bit of a slowdown at the moment. I mean, that medic has the overcharge. Middle still belongs to the Dogs, so they kind of can play up a little bit. They're still holding under the choke point. But again, you know, you can see this Patchouli and Evo marriage going on. You know, they're building the Ubercharge really, really quick together. They are not really being pressured by the Dogs either, so they can just do it for free. You know, they're not in a rush at the moment. I mean, there is a Soldier coming out. He does claim Impo here. Sake claims credit. Now, he's taking that quite low, but he does survive. That means 1 player down the side of Dogs. They are actually falling back. You know, that was enough for them to just kind of get a little bit too spooked and move away, but they're coming back and seeing that the team has kind of overextended. Sake now below from the drop down. No, that's not going to work out there.
Slowly but surely, they're not going away for the Dogs. Just your demo dying so early. Okay, they do get a couple of frags in the end, and
oh my God,
they might get the force out of Patchouli eventually, but it's
insane.
So much better for an Uber here. They milked it for so long. Even if they dropped 3 players on the side of the Frenchies, it doesn't matter. Sure, you didn't find Martin in the response, but still, it's going to be such a good Uber for the Frenchies. Now if they can just hold on to second in the post fight here as well. I mean, aggression out of the Dog. Sure, Kosuke even trying to get onto the combo immediately. Lots of damage out of the medic, but still no follow-up there to clean up any of it. 3 players versus 1 just is not easy to beat, and yeah, they're just going to reset it. After all that, a chaotic fight back and forth, an Uber exchange that should have gone the way of the Frenchies, and yet they still sit on their own second.
Yeah, once again, I mean, just like Patchouli was just milking that Uber as for all he could. I mean, he was just hanging on that health bag, just kind of dancing left and right and center. None of the meat shots collected here. Sneaky tried to go for a sneaky play, but Syke is not having any of that. So you just clean up the spy, no shenanigans in the background, and once again, French are just happy to hang out on the second point. They have a good position there, you know, hanging around the spire. So they don't really have to overextend. They have really good protection. If anyone decides to bomb, you basically have Nevo sticking to Patchouli 24/7, so you have the anti-aircraft defense. You're good to go. Like, you basically have a very good setup, very surgical, very methodical, like basically textbook. And T-Dogs, on the other hand, they're kind of like a bit more scrappy. They're trying to look for something, like just anything to break through that defense. And they just need to coordinate this. Kosuke is going on to Patchouli, but once again, I thought it was a drop. I saw the particles. I saw the particles. I heard something, man.
I don't know. You're starting to hear things. You're starting to hallucinate things that aren't actually happening. Yeah,
it's been a long day.
I don't blame you, but yeah, I think it's just going to go to a round reset. And every minute ticked off the clock is just a minute closer for the Frenchies to go home for the day, basically. They're trying to close this out. There's going to be another Uber sent through by the Dogs. They got little to lose. The round reset is imminent anyway. They might as well try and send something. And I doubt the Frenchies are really going to be keen to cap this point. Maybe they want to make it around. Maybe they do. They're just certainly going to send the Uber across and get a lot of damage with it. Finally clean up a kill of Phoenix. But that's going to be all they claim with it. Eventually, Impo gets taken care of as well, but they've lost 2 on their own side. And the back cap by Sneaky may actually keep the Dogs in this as he wins this fight against the Scout. Lots of damage. Does win it against Juxta. They wiped.
They survived, and now Sneaky is just running to the last. It's Sake that is only going to be responding right now. 200 HP. He needs to get on the point. That Scout is going to cap the point. He's coming on the point right now. He's going to have a lot of damage being exchanged, but no, you can't leave this point. Dogs pull this one from the jaws of defeat. Absolutely insane play by Sneaky there.
All the Frenchies had to do was not push out to mid there. And they did it, and they lost royally because of it.
The punish was big.
Like, not only did they get way too eager with that push out, considering the round reset was imminent, and they could have just easily gone to this round without losing the point, they lost off the back of it.
Unreal back cap by Sneaky. 2 points.
2 points back caps.
And two
1v1s won.
2 1v1s won.
Incredible place. He's keeping this team in it.
So back. We're so back.
Next mid-fight, let's see if they can keep the momentum up. I know the spirits must be high after that one for the dogs as they're underway with their next mid-fight. Now, is it going to go any differently for them? Will they have a chance here? Both soldiers in very far behind, just with deep bombs. And you know what? They're fighting crucial frags. Alien Evo down. There goes Patchouli and Raph as well. They lost Martin on their own side, but it doesn't matter if your medic dies when you kill almost everybody else on the enemy team.
The French are crumbling here. They are just completely stunned by that last round. I don't think they expected this. I don't think the dogs expected it either, but it has worked out, and that's given them so much motivation to just keep going. And now we're looking at defense from the French. We might be going to the third map here. It's 1-1 on this map, which means the dogs are very much back in this. They have, well, about equal Ubers. They have second point. They have, like, very comfortable situation. I think the French just decided, okay, you know what? We're going to park the bus on last. We have a pyro up. We have an engineer up, so we're going to be absolutely fine parking the bus here and just trying to go for a good defense, maybe lull the dogs into making some kind of a mistake while pushing in. I mean, no Ubers in sight yet, so I don't think we're going to see much action, but maybe we can see a soldier play there going underneath.
Unfortunately for the Frenchies, they aren't up around anymore, so now if they're wasting time, they're just, well, wasting time for a golden cap to come around. Phoenix is below the point as well.
Traps?
I mean, he's certainly going to know about the soldier shooting him in the face as he dies to that 1v1 for Sake. Unfortunately, not going to go his way. Second scout as well. Sake's probably got this one in the bag as well. Narrowly gets a little bit of help from his engineer buddy, but Sneaky can't get that one underway either. Not going to get away with it this time around. Is this enough for the Frenchies to push out for, though? No. 2 picks? No, you're not going to go off of that one. You're just going to bunker up on last.
Not with that setup.
Not with the pyro, not with the NG.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be a bit too slow. They need more than that. And of course, those two players, they were kind of sacrificial lambs anyway. They wanted to just scope out the situation and see what the defense is like. And now that they know, they got what they needed. They're just going to wait for the resupplies, you know, all the reinforcements, and then just go for it. Info now, putting a lot of damage on that sentry gun on that little nest there. Quite safe and as well. I mean, there's not much punish for that kind of maneuver. You're just going to keep putting pills in that sentry and making that engineer's life really terrible. And finally, there is some kind of response coming out of Alien there. But yeah, both medics currently at 100%, and the ball is in the dogs' court. Phoenix now once again going from behind. He doesn't see much, but Sake is just not letting this one go.
He's got the pain train too. He's really trying to go for that backhat, that cheeky backhat play. Unfortunately, Sake's not having any of it, and shutting him down. Finally gets that kill claimed as well as Raph tries to move his way forward. Maybe catch somebody off guard. Can't quite cut him off. Will have to just contend with fighting the scout and actually die for it as well. Unger does win that one. You would expect it in that situation. So, hey, that maybe opens things up a little bit. Phoenix is going to spawn first. A defender going down is always going to make the hold a little bit tougher, but they do have a lot of defense there. They do have just an iron grip on this last hold right now, the Frenchies. It's a tough one to break for the dogs. They really have to work for it. Sneaky gone on the point once more, pulling a lot of attention, but that's all she wrote. Just a little bit of cap time, a little bit of damage onto a soldier. Raph goes forward again, just gets into the combo somehow. He just waddles up river and walks into the combo and gets a force out of Martin.
That's for free. That's for free. But look at Phoenix now that Uber has been popped. No, they're not having any of this. Alien's gonna win this one, but it was so close. There was, you know, he was backed up by the Pyre. I don't think it would really work for Phoenix there.
But even just that claiming that kill could have maybe swung things a little bit for the refight.
I think they just learned that, hey, we got 2 back caps in the road that got us a point. Let's just keep trying the same strategy. Yeah. And I don't think the French are just going to be like there. Yeah, sure, buddy.
Let him keep trying. Let him keep trying, right? It's going to work. But after all of that, the Frenchies still taking a long time to actually push out here. They're finally taking some ground up top here. They're finally getting out onto this second point area. Unfortunately, Raph is going to be the first to fall, and Phoenix just narrowly escaping that jousting duel himself, but will live, and that's going to shut the Frenchies down immediately. They're back to last, having to hold. The Uber is ready for the side of the dogs as well, and we've reset. After all of that, we've basically just reset. Raph is still just now spawning, and now the defenses aren't as established as the heavy is the only thing defending them. Sneaky tries to win that duel, doesn't do it this time, but lots of damage onto Sake anyway is going to make him go off the point for a while, which...
Sake just padding out his stats at this point on that point. He's just sitting on that perch, and you're just like, he knows there's going to be dog players coming from the underneath, and he's just sitting there and waiting for them. You know? And he's not really being punished for being that high up either, because, you know, he's sitting on a good spot. It's kind of hard to hit from the riverside. If you want to hit him from the main, then you have to overextend yourself. Also, being on the perch, not that much splash damage going on. Maybe a sniper would have been put a stop to that, and then you can push into last.
I think right you're giving up a player for the push, and you need a lot of coordination to really deal with this soldier, right? You have a player going under.
There, happy to just be there.
Yeah.
Look, see?
Right there again. It's two players trying to go for him, but he's got the high ground, and all it takes is just one of these players on the French team to turn around and help him out, and then they're having an even rougher time. It's so hard to deal with that soldier up there, man.
He just plays whack-a-mole. Look at this. It's just Sneaky and Phoenix.
They got a force out, though? Or is this it's an exchange going underway for both teams here? Fair enough. A slightly better Uber for the Frenchies, but they did have to flash more as well, and it's going to be down to this post-Uber fight with 18 seconds left in the round timer, so you might as well send it. You can't blame the dogs for trying. If they get any cap time, they will get a little bit of overtime as well, but they do have to commit very deeply, and the soldier going down early, and everybody else slowly but surely getting whittled down as well is going to make it a lot harder. They might get this heavy eventually. No, not even. Juxta lives with a sliver of HP.
Yeah.
And we're going to another mid-fight.
Yeah, well, I think it was a good play by the French. You know, just at this point, just run the clock out. Run the clock out, make the dogs just take the hit for this. Because at this point, you know, it's just going to take too long, and it's not worth it for them, right? It's just going to equalize the ground a little bit. And with still 5 minutes left on the clock, if we're still at a stalemate by then, we're going to go to a golden cap and see how that pans out. But, you know, this time around, you know, that back cap could save the dogs, you know, could save the dogs. And let's see how this mid fight goes once again. Alien very fast to mid, already putting the stickies in the big garage area, but not really purchasing or finding any purchase just yet. Nevo once again getting pocketed, moving in forward. There's a lot of damage from Sake here, so he's behind. I don't think anyone's really dispatching him yet. I mean, they were aware of him, but they're just ignoring him completely. 2 rockets on the medic. Norton is in a lot of world of trouble. He's gonna probably be hurt. Medic is so low, and Sake knows that he should finish the job. He finally does. Wow.
Nice direct as well to seal the deal.
He was just like, you know, I know the medic's there, and I know he's low on HP, so I'm just gonna like play with him a little bit. He has the job done, and now Patchouli with a massive Uber ad. Only 3 players alive for the side of dogs. They're already just parking up on last. They know that they cannot contest. They may be looking for maybe like sacrificing a soldier or a scout, trying to see where the medic is. But Patchouli, like, he playing so defensively, I think it would just be a waste at this point. Yeah, he's not going to let himself be caught off guard.
The Frenchies know this every playbook here. Even the sniper in River, he might get a shot. He does get a shot. Raf will get picked off, but it's just delaying the inevitable. This push from the Frenchies will come. It might even come without the soldier, and it will. They're just going to Uber in anyway. They decided they don't need their leader here, with Raf probably main calling for the team once more. And you know what? It's not working out for them. Maybe they should have waited for him.
They're crumbling. They're crumbling there. You know, they did a good push, but like I think pushing with just 4 players was just not the right idea. At this point, like, they had the Uber charge, Uber ad. They could have, you know, they did try it, right? And they don't have that much to lose. You know, they're just gonna go to a golden cap at the worst case scenario. 3 minutes left on the clock. They can afford themselves to lose this one. Now Kosuke is now on the second point, just gonna slowly take it over and get his team the additional space to work with. 100% on to Martin as well, only 20 on the side of Patchouli. Nevo's on Sniper though.
Back again on the Sniper. Same angle he's held many a time, and the big door push. What a bomb in. Unfortunately, Patchouli's so slippery he doesn't take a sliver of damage. They only find Alien. They clean up Juxta as well in the tail end. 2 players for an Uber. That's probably a pretty good deal, considering...
Frustrating medic to deal with, man.
He's so slippery. He might give Piggles a run for his money, his slipperiest medic, man. He's just out there immediately. He knew what was at stake. Nice little rocket onto the scout there as well. Still, the dogs keeping up the pressure, though. They're going to take second as well. They know these Frenchies have an ad, but they know they also don't have yet. Because if they did, then the Frenchies wouldn't be going out to last. So they might actually have a chance here. It's going to be equal Ubers. There's no way the Frenchies are pushing out in this situation, obviously. They're setting up for another hold. So with the last 2 minutes, less than 2 minutes on the clock, it's all on the dogs to try and win this in regulation type things. Big bomb in, lots of ground, but not lots of damage. Doesn't find the rocket he needs to, unfortunately, to pyrotonize him as well. The sentry eventually cleans him up, and that sentry is going to be a thorn for the dogs here. They're going to have such a rough time dealing with it now, especially a minute and a half. They have to go eventually, but...
It's do or die now.
They have to go.
It's do or die. I mean, the French are probably not too confident about this either. I mean, if they lose a point here, it's going to go to a 3rd round, right? So they do want to put a lot of effort into this defense. This is going to be the last kind of big play of the game. See who wants it, who will get it. 1 minute left on the clock. It still could be the dogs, but the dogs are the ones in the offense right now. Like, they're the striking on the goal. So we're going to see if that actually works out. A lot of damage being put on the Sentry. That Pyro is doing a lot of work, but Sentry's finally ultimately going to go down to Impo. Now Impo once again just kind of leading the charge with the damage. There is a scout there in the background, and he's doing a lot of damage, but no, Ubercharge is coming out of the dogs, and now the counter pop from the French team. They are going to make sure to stick around this this point. They don't really want to lose this because it's just going to mean another map for them. And dogs are backing away. 40 seconds left on the clock. They can still dry push. They still have the dream kept alive.
Nothing to lose for the dogs. They might as well try to convert this round, get themselves a third map straight away. Unfortunately, every second ticking down is going to make that harder and harder. That last caps quickly, but you also got a dispatch of the 6 players trying to stand around it and making sure that nobody gets on it. So even though they're stacking players, doing a lot of damage on the side of the dogs, they're not finding the frags they need to try and close out that cap time, and eventually everybody gets cleaned up one by one. Martin, the sole survivor, and he's not even going to get close to the point. He might get a kill onto Raph there. Assisted suicide, I suppose. It's fitting of a medic, but that's all it is. We're going to go into a golden cap. The golden cap's going to go underway for the time being. The map isn't quite over yet. The dogs have bought themselves a ticket. Much rather, Sneaky has bought them a ticket to try and win Gully Wash. So we'll see if the golden cap can spell that victory for them, or the Frenchies suddenly find some steam again and come out of the swing. And Patchouli goes very low very early, though. They find Sake as well, and it's already crumbling a little bit for this mid-fight. They probably don't want to commit too much more, considering 2 more players have gone down as well. And the dogs are looking mighty strong straight off the bat.
Yeah, it's not looking too good for the French here, but they're just going to back away all the way to last. They're not even going to contest mid. There were a few stickies there, but they were detonated with no purchase. Now, the dogs are moving already into the upper river area. Phoenix is moving forward. He's going to find the enemy team, but they know he's going to be lurking underneath, and I think it's just going to be a repeat with Sake just sitting on the point, but now Phoenix going on the aggressive offensive side. 3 HP hero, but he's not going to be able to find anyone. And now it's French leading the charts with just 1 player more. They still are slowly setting up. They have Juxta on the engineer, so he's going to work away. There's also Nevo on the Pyro, so they're just happy to play it a bit more defensively and make the dogs make a mistake. They can't afford really to make a mistake themselves, I think. Yeah, no. It's just going to lead to the third map.
Exactly. You know? Like the dogs can afford a little bit of leverage. Now, in worst case, they get pushed back a couple of points and try to find their footing again there, right? Obviously, Lord knows what the futures unfold from there, but for the time being, at least, they're in the driver's seat. They can try to bust this last hold once more, and it's not established as much yet. They have the Pyro, they have the NG on the side of the Frenchies, but they're still getting set up, and
Alien's just getting really low on HP. He needs those heals. They need to keep the demo alive for this last. And, you know, having a reset blocker there, it's easy to reload as a demo man. Otherwise, he's just going to spend 20 minutes reloading. But the Phoenix below, he's going to find Sake again. Sitting on that perch, there's just not that much surface to do splash damage. You can hope for those direct hits, but it's just not going to connect if they're too slow.
Oh, he's just going to get on a cap. There was so much cap time straight off the bat. That Pain Train pulling weight, and they trade him out for Sake as well on the other side. So the soldiers traded out either side. It's so much better for the offensive side. Raph just gets in and gets the force out of Martin. It's a shambolic use as well. Patchouli doesn't have to pop yet, but he's going to pop just to keep the point alive. Still, most of the Frenchies did die in that. It's going to be much better players just for the dogs here, and they might actually have a chance at re-aggressing this in the post-super fight. Just a dry fight right after the fact might very well ultimately be what keeps them in, but the respawners are here for the Frenchies as well. Nice fight by Impo, but is it enough to keep them in this fight? No, it's not. Or is it?
Phoenix with just the skin of his teeth tried to get it done, but it was not enough. Now Martin is the only last man standing. Omgar is going to have reunite with him soon. But that was so close. They were really trying. They're trying their hardest, but it was just not enough. You know, the French respawn wave coming in and resupplying this middle point. So that now it's just Nevo leading the charge. Going a second, you're seeing a lot of offense, a lot of like aggression coming out of the dogs. They're not willing to let this one go. Phoenix already deep behind enemy lines. He's going all the way from left.
Oh my god.
Oh, that could be
no
huge.
Way. No way.
Oh. And then with an air shot. Little cheeky air shot. You know, from Raph.
Raph saw that one.
They saw that one. They were ready to go like,
his third eye opened as soon as he saw Phoenix go up there. And he was like, all right, I gotta come back. I'm
gonna have a heart attack here.
Gotta deal with this one personally. And you know what? It worked out. 2 soldiers down there for the dogs. It means the Frenchies have bought themselves a bit of leverage to try and get onto this midpoint as well, which they very much so will, as the dogs try to mount a bit of a defense on second. The Ubers are equal at this point. So it's the first time in a while we see the Frenchies on the enemy side of the map trying to get into second. It's certainly the first time they're on this side of the second stalemate. and we'll see how they approach trying to bust this one open. And, well, they're sending the flank behind lobby once more. It's worked well for them in the past, and we'll see how well it works for them once more. Sake very low, though. He's going to be able to fight while the exchange is underway on the ground floor. And it's going a little bit better for the Frenchies health-wise. Positions-wise, I mean, it's all over the place. The dogs are very far forward and choke once more, while the Frenchies have kind of split themselves, right? Their flank has got out, and that's just kind of how the tail end of that fight goes. Sake dies as well, so they kind of have to get out to mid, and it's a bit of a reset.
It's a bit of a reset here. I mean, both soldiers going down, so it's a bit more safe. Both teams kind of happy to just scope out the area and just not make much of a mistake. I'm going to try not to make the first step either. Both scouts hardcore building this. You can see Umger just supporting the medic, and Martin and Nevo supporting Patchouli as usual. And both teams just kind of decided, you know what, we're just going to have a bit of a truce going on. Let our medics build Ubers, and then maybe we'll decide. There's a bit of a rotation going through big door. They decided, you know, the choke is no longer looking too good, so we're just going to go through big door there. In the garage area, Sake is coming in, but no, he's going to be caught off guard here by Impo, and he's going to be feeling himself pretty good after this one. Now, putting in some sticks out there, making sure that no one even further comes in. And once again, it's a bit of a stalemate going on here.
They're trying their best. So these Frenchies are trying to get sneaky with things, but it's not working out for them just so far. They're in the driver's seat for once. They have a bit of an opportunity to try and, you know, convert around for once, do something here. But the situation is very equal, and they're struggling just as much as the dogs did in a similar situation, right? The second is a tough one to bust. It's not the easiest second point as a, you know, with regards to the maps that we have in the rotation. So it's not a surprise they're struggling a bit. But if they can sneak through here, get rid of these stickies as well, Impo isn't going to pop those. He realizes that that's a foolish errand, and perhaps now with that lower door cleared as well, somebody can try to sneak in. Matter of fact, someone already did. You got a soldier in behind. Sake is once more in lobby and can be providing a bit of pressure here as well onto this team of the dogs and make it cut off by a scout here. But hey, you know, he's already being a bit of a nuisance, and the Uber comes through choke. Obviously, it's going to be much better for the dogs, but Martin eats a fat meat chop before finally popping. So if it comes to the post-Uber fight, if it comes down to the health difference...
There's going to be Sake coming in, bombing the medic, as I just said, but the medic survives. Martin low at HP, but he's going to stay alive now. Umger's trying to chase them away.
Yeah, they find the damage on the other players, though. Both Sneaky and Kosuke go down. I mean, 2 soldiers down for the Frenchies as well. It's still kind of equal numbers-wise, but it's still not looking great positioning-wise. They took so long to get healed up. Morton just spread thin, trying to keep his team alive, and the respawners are going to be in a favor of the Frenchies as well. Phoenix, a bit overextended, gets cleaned up as well, and slowly but surely the dogs are losing the war of attrition on the second. The French soldiers come through, trying to grab as much ground as they can, and everybody just gets cleaned up all of a sudden. So much damage rolled out by Impo. He finally gets cleaned up, but it doesn't matter. The rest of the team just wipes. It's Patchouli running with 60% for his life, and he will escape for the time being. Probably get out to last, but the Frenchies don't want to see that.
No, and they don't really have anyone to start building up, and that's kind of crucial. They're going to maintain the Uber charge, and that's actually really good. Once again, Patchouli proving himself to be an incredibly capable medic. But they do have the disadvantage here, which I don't know if T-Dogs are going to use. And their defense is just now started getting built up. You know, once again, we see Juxta on the NG, and we see Nevo on the Pyro. So they're just going to kind of try to play defensively once again. 2.5 minutes left on the clock for this one. I don't know, like, it could still work. Uber's coming out of T-Dogs, though. They're just trying to push in, tag this sentry gun, but the counter is out from Patchouli. Sake is also getting some rockets for his trouble. Now Phoenix is camping below. Now with Sake in, distracted enough his purge, he's gonna go try attack, but he's gonna go get cleaned up by Sake. And then Sneaky
is taunting. He's taunting alone in Big Door for whatever reason. It's not like he killed anybody, but I guess he just realized
he died early, and he was like, well,
no point in coming back in. Whatever, we're just gonna sit on mid, and yeah, it's a bit of an unfortunate push for the dogs. I mean, they're not gonna be able to probably even hold on to mid that easily off the back of this. Bit of a disad to work with. Kosuke just now spawning, and he's gonna be far back, so it's gonna be an uphill battle. But it's also only a minute 40. For the Frenchies to try and run this coast to coast. And that is quite a little bit of time, just a very little bit of time to try and pull off, well, 4 points effectively. So they've got 1 under their belt. They need to get another 3, and every second counts as they are wasting away as the dogs buy themselves this ticket into the golden mid-fight instead, which could very well take them to the third map.
It's a coin toss, essentially, like what the mid-fight is. But they're pushing in, French, really aggressively, trying to buy themselves a lot of ground, and they're just getting it for free from the dogs. The dogs are not willing to really risk it. I mean, I think they would be pretty happy with a coin toss, but they do pick up Impo there. That's a nice pick from Nevo. He's still getting chased. But there's a scout there on the background. Martin is going to get a flash onto him. That's very nice. Omgar is now a lot of trouble, though. He's going to get picked up a lot of kills here on the side of T-Dogs. Martin is in a lot of trouble now. He's going to try to surf away, but this all could be over now. It's over. It's 40 seconds left. Martin's still alive, but he's still kind of fighting. Now Impo is being disconnected. This could be it. This could be do or die here, Surny. There's so much scrap fight going on. Impo is going to go down, and the heavy's coming out. There's no medic with them. Martin has been wasting so much time. Omgar needs to basically stand on the point and not leave it. 20 seconds left on the clock, Surny.
The Frenchies were so low as well. They couldn't really commit to that push. They have now 17, 16 seconds to just get onto this point, get through this heavy. Martin will spawn. He will have the time to get healed up perhaps a little bit, at least on his heavy. But the French is just going to send in everything they can. They have the pyro on the Psycho Sneaky as well, and they're not going to get to that point in time. They just won't do it. We're going to a golden mid.
The coin toss is coming
as
out.
Close as it can possibly get for a single map of TF2.
Enough of the history lesson. Let's freaking go here. Alien gonna be watching a rollout coming out of 3.5. 28 HP. That's kind of bad though. He's gonna just kind of lock it down. Make sure Phoenix jumping in. There's 4 times on the point already. They are not wasting any time. They're picking up Sake. Ooh, here Rap going down as well. Phoenix is the one alive, but the point is still getting capped by the dogs. They're just crumbling. The French have nothing to respond to this.
They just capped the point.
And they just capped the point.
They just played the objective and they just capped the point. I think the Frenchies kind of forgot what was at stake. I think they kind of forgot that this was supposed to be a golden mid-fight.
Is it supposed to be a golden mid-fight production?
Maybe it's a second half to the golden cap. No. There you go.
It's Jover.
It is Jover. We're going to map 3.
We go into map 3.
The dogs keep it up. They will have a chance at continuing along the upper bracket.
They're not going to give up, but we're getting ready to go on this one, and we're going to be watching Impo's rollout here. Getting pretty quick, grabbing himself the health back as usual. Now loading it up, and now it's just gonna put some stickies on the floor, making sure that the offense from the French team is not gonna be too aggressive. So already the French team is claiming the top side, but it's not going without retaliation coming out of the dogs here. KritzKast is jumping sky high, bombing, getting the demo, and now he's looking for the medic, but he's gonna get himself knocked down to low HP himself. Oh, and going for the medic once again. Patchouli though, however, there's a steal. He's not going to just give up like this, but they are falling back, and the dogs are wrestling themselves into the middle point with that really nice high fast bomb.
Slippery as a snail as ever, but
snail.
Because French. Anyway, they managed to get him out to last. Look, the Frenchies hang on to this. They might have lost mid for the time being, but they're going to have equal Ubers. They're going to have an easy time holding last. And Snakewater notoriously a very difficult last point to push. So we'll see if the dogs can come out ahead of it and get some early momentum, early aggression before there's much of a hold. Unfortunately, the one soldier in KritzKast trying to do that will get shut down. Phoenix narrowly escaping as well before potentially maybe falling as well. So they're gonna have to slow it down. Frenchies get a bit of time to set up their last hold. Now it was a bit of early aggression, but it wasn't enough. And now it may very well slow a bit to a crawl. That's why we immediately see a sniper on the side of the dogs. Very interesting, straight away, huh?
He's not gonna take him any chances here, KritzKast. Like he knows that he needs to be incredibly important to his team here, just making the plays. He's probably the one with, I don't know, I think he's got the most steam left as well, because he's been very active in that second map towards the end. So, you know, him making those plays is just going to be quite important for them. You know, Phoenix supporting him, Impo as well, making really good plays. Oh, the sniper fight here, Nevo and KritzKast just duking it out. Both of them taking some pot shots there, but none of them really dying just yet. They're just going to stick on that. It seems that KritzKast is moving up a little bit to the lobby area, looking for another angle to take. KritzKast is moving in here. Shutters, no, he's going to go up, maybe look for a headshot on the soldier, and that would open up that flank. Just waiting. Hard scoping, 150 damage, but missing that headshot narrowly. And the soldier's going to know now to
No,
Careful! No, Nevo!
He was feeling himself, but he wasn't overhealed, and that's gonna lose you the sniper duel. Now Kosuke gets even more room to work with. Seik gets taken down as well. Opens up even more grounds for the sniper to maybe get a cheeky deep angle in, and these Frenchies have to hold really close now. That medic is gonna be in the dispenser armor, which means suddenly soldiers trying to do something may very well get some move. Unfortunately, Phoenix can't quite get in, and he's going to be shutting out of that door. Crucially, stays alive, though, managing to keep the pressure up. And even if Frenchies respawners are here, Raph will be the next one meeting the wrath of Kosuke's headshots. And will fall, giving some more ground to this. The shot is so close. Such a position doesn't hit that close range headshot. Will probably... No! We'll get an arrow. Will live. Once more, the sniper is staying in it, and he's activated.
Martin activated Almond's strategy over there, just like absolutely saving this sniper. You know, and we've been talking about Patchouli a lot, but Martin is not far behind. He's been playing extremely well. Maybe he's not been as slippery, but he's also an extremely stable anchor point for his entire team and making sure that they're all healed pretty well, you know, standing in.
So deep, such a deep peek.
Oh, that is like such a hard scope as well, and finds Joxta there. That means the sentry is currently unguarded. He does die though, but that trade is a worthy trade. Now, Phoenix is just gonna try to put some spam on the sentry without the engineer repairing it. It's just a matter of time, but now he's getting pushed out by the soldier there, making sure that none of those shenanigans actually occur. And again, dogs are being very, very slow here, very methodical. They're just not really willing to take that opportunity to basically allow the French to gain an upper hand in this engagement and just basically push out allies. They want to just keep up the pressure for as long as they can. Jumping in hard is Phoenix this time around.
Oh.
So is Impo, but both of them get picked up here.
Impo wasn't really intending to. Yeah, I think he just got juggled up and got immediately picked out of the sky. Very unfortunate situation to be in. Is this enough for the Frenchies to push out on, though? They're certainly taking some ground in lobby, but it is still a bit of a slow one. A body shot onto the medic, but it's not going to be enough to get a kill, and Nevo's feeling himself. He really wants this shot here onto something, and some crucial pick, but Martin will live. He won't eat any more spam. He's safe and sound behind this corner, and the Frenchies have to back off to last again. Again, Snakewater last might be difficult to push into, but it's just as difficult to push out of, especially once you've got this hold established. That sniper has to hit another shot when you're pushing out, otherwise he's useless. The NG will stay behind, so you're already down a player. You need a decisive difference to really try and push out of, and with a minute left on the clock at this point, I'd be surprised if we see the Frenchies do that at all. Crucially, that means the dogs also have little to lose, and they're just going to send in another deep pump. Phoenix, nice little surf. He will get taken care of, though. And Kosuke trying to follow it up, didn't get much done with it either.
The orange justice coming out, man. The orange justice from the engineer, making sure that all the people are cleaned up. You know, that sentry gun picking up some kills. Always nice to have. Always nice to see. And Phoenix takes the brunt of it. Still, the French are just kind of pushed against the wall here. You know, I know they want to push out, but both teams, again, it's just basically been the theme of this LAN. Every single game is just the beginning of every round, every map. It's just like slow and methodical, and people just kind of trying to feel themselves, looking for an opportunity. And here comes one, Impo getting Uber, taking that sentry, late pop out of Patchouli. Now again, chasing some kills here, just jumping around like a monkey, I don't know.
Mad Dog,
Mad Dog, absolutely.
We'll see if the post-war fight is enough. They do get a bit of cap time for the overtime, but it's not enough. Jakeowaty just comes onto the point as the Putis, and it will go to the round reset. You can't blame the Frenchies for not trying to push out. They're just playing it safe.
You know what I do like though is like, you know what, we're just gonna hold this. It's too risky.
It's snake water.
We're not gonna get much.
It's snake water. That's how it goes.
It is beneficial to us to simply run the clock out and then just reset to mid. I think it's a smart play. I like seeing this. Although it doesn't make much of a spectacle if both teams are just kind of sitting.
They've been so closely matched all evening.
Closer than anyone has thought.
For the past 2 hours is the closest match we've seen all day.
We have people on camera who've raised hands that the French are going to win, so
and
we know who you are.
They got to put their money where their mouth is, and we'll see if this next mid fight can maybe swing things in the favor of this French team as they were playing from behind before. Martin dying immediately to some nice damage out of Alien is certainly going to open things up, and the rest of the team quickly crumbling behind. Both soldiers dealt with a Soul Scout fighting in lower, seeing what he can do. Unfortunately, he won't get much done. I mean, he's going to trade out, but Umger will not get much more done. They only lost Raf on the other side, although Patchouli did go very low. But crucially, he stays alive. Ultimately, he will have an Uber, and the Frenchies find themselves a nice opportunity to come back into this map and maybe actually convert the first round.
Patchouli just nerves of steel. Like that chin has been rock solid. absolutely rock solid this entire fight, not stressed at all. He just kind of was standing around and letting the team protect him. You know, and he wasn't really moving much left and right. Like, he wasn't panicking. He's just like, you know what, my team's got this. And that faith has paid off because now 100% Ubercharge advantage. Sneaky's on the sniper once again. Gonna be looking for a shot through the shutter. Maybe on the scout there. Maybe see someone else. It seems that the French want to push. Oh no, but he's missed it. He's missed the window of opportunity while looking through one. And now Uber's coming out. Poor Pachuli's just sharing it heavily. They know they can afford this. Now trying to force their way into the point. No one's really dying on the side of the dogs though. But there, just the damage. The damage is there. And the follow-up is as well. Sake's coming in with Pachuli, the last man standing. What is he going to do alone? No, he's just going to back away. Once again, slink away. It was a good push. They got a lot of damage done. They just needed that extra at the very end.
They realized they didn't really get the frags they needed to round out the cap, so they immediately pivoted and got that crucial frag onto Martin. So even though that Uber push didn't accomplish anything and they even lost second, there's no ad for the side of the dogs. They're still down. And that is crucial. That's keeping the Frenchies in, is they can immediately come back at the second with a lot of momentum, a lot of aggression, because the dogs know they can't really afford to hold this unless they get a miraculous pick early here, which they won't considering how passive they already are. They got to get back to last, and the Frenchies get themselves another easy chance to get back out of this. And basically all the dogs did is waste time. They wasted a little bit of time, even out of the round reset that they could have potentially played for. So they got to hold last for another 5 minutes now. And that Uber is slowly getting equalized. Martin's been building like a madman. It's going to be equal by the time these medics have. But still, they've just wasted the opportunity. Sentry's not quite up yet. Sake's go for a high bomb. Will get in quite deep. Unfortunately, he just eats a rocket to the face, waiting for an arrow. It's very unfortunate. And oh, Alien might just get caught as well. He does. Phoenix is on a chase. He was tasting that one.
He was locked in for that one. He was just absolutely going bananas there. Just chasing. He wanted that kill so bad.
Leaping after him like a rabbit. And you know what? He got it. And keeping the Frenchies at bay. Raph goes dangerously low, so he had to heal up a little bit for that as well. And even with Sake respawning now, sure, the dogs aren't going to push out off the back of it, but they're buying themselves a little bit of time. And time is what they need. Unfortunately, Impo might just die here. Now he gets a crucial arrow. Sake will not quite be able to round out that kill, and that demo living is crucial there. That could have gone so wrong. Impo was such a dangerous position, so it's very ambitious that he even went out there to begin with, but he didn't get punished. Didn't get punished enough, at least, and maybe the Frenchies are feeling themselves for a bit of an exchange at this point. They're certainly poised for something like a little bit of a push through the shutter here. Maybe they're just willing to see how far it takes them, but it's keen. It's very keen. They're just going to send in both soldiers. They immediately get the knight by the sentry. Both of them just juggled into the air. Raf's the first to fall. Sake is close to follow. They got the sentry in the end, but 2 soldiers for a sentry gun might as well do nothing.
Yeah, I don't think it was a worthy exchange. It was good, but
Sneaky though.
Oh, no. Sneaky is scoping in. He's looking for the medic. How is Pachuli still alive? He's always moving at the last moment. Sneaky's the most unfortunate sniper on Earth right now because Pachuli's just moving, just pressing that AMD button at the last possible moment just to avoid getting shot. And he's still keeping the dream alive. But Sneaky's still the sniper though. But now they're aware. They're still muscling their way in, and they know they're just not going to die from a quick scope headshot. So they're just going to kind of try to push their way in. Now Pachuli is on the ramp here, trying to stay safe. Sake is just going to scope out the situation, level 2 sentry, put some spam on it. 2 soldiers is enough to get the job done. But that should open them up a little bit so they can actually maybe bomb, create some kind of opportunity. Sneaky is scoping once again, missing the shot, chasing the medic. Martin slow on HP, but the trust put by the team into this medic is crazy. He's keeping it. Could have been all. That could have been it.
That could have been it. A slight adjustment of the crosshair was all it took for that demo to get that kill there.
Oh, no.
You know what? The force comes out of Phoenix. He managed to get that in there as well. The dogs buying themselves a lot of leverage here. Sure, you've lost a soldier. You're not going to push out off the back of it, but maybe they're just playing for that round reset as well with how much time they've wasted already. Sneaky, big angle there into second as well, making sure nobody is trying anything cheeky. And you've got a spy on the side of the French team.
They had enough. I think they just want to go for something. Yeah, this is going to be a patient game, and Frenchies have kind of been patient. Oh, he's running regular clock though, so he has a time.
Oh my God!
He gets Martin. That's a drop.
You don't need the cloak and dagger. Cloak and dagger is overrated. You just decloak directly behind the medic, who's probably not hearing anything because people are screaming in his ear, and that's all it takes. This is the chance the Frenchies needed.
I hope I had compression on, man.
Probably, I don't know, we'll see.
That's absolutely insane. That's
what they needed. That's exactly what they needed.
Look at the Uber ad that Patchouli has right now. That absolute amazing play is going to open up that entire flank here. And a window of opportunity opens here. Maybe the sniper is going to do something sneaky, but Uber's coming out immediately. They're not risking this. Center in a very good position to avoid a lot of damage, but it's not going to be enough. A lot of the red players are just scattered. They don't want to take too much damage. They're not really getting any kills here, but they get Martin once again. That's big. 3 players alive for the side of France. They're going to back away.
Same
And
exact
it
push.
could have been. It could have been it.
Same push.
But they are still buying themselves valuable time.
It's the same exact push again. There's little time left in the round. The Frenchies once more, they don't find the point pressure immediately. They don't find the frags they need to. People die to the sticky trap. So they immediately pivot. Yimpo does a great, sorry, not Yimpo, Alien does a great job getting down Martin to make sure that this Uber ad stays with them. And they bought themselves another opportunity here. They will get an Uber in time. Unfortunately, Nevo going down to that body shot is certainly going to make it a little bit harder. And Raf also died to a sticky trap. So they might as well send it. They got little to lose on the side of the Frenchies.
Yeah.
But they have to make a miraculous push work, not just with a player this ad, but you know, they've already struggled a couple of times before. Dogs have been doing a great job kiting these Ubers and making these holds work, so we'll see if they can do it once more. The Sentry's only level 2 this time, gets taken care of immediately. Players shut down out of spawn a little bit as well as they rotate around. A bit of cap time coming through finally. The stickies are popped off the point and soldiers clear people off. There's going to be a bit of overtime as the cap time ticks down again, but it will tick down fast, and it doesn't look like anybody on 3.5 stars is keen to try and convert it. We'll go into another round reset. Neither of these teams is giving each other any quarter right now.
I mean, once again, Doug's just kind of like, hey guys, actually, let's just be really good at defending again. And he remembered the first game we've watched, which was probably like 2 hours ago at this point.
It feels like it was yesterday.
Yeah, man, it's been a long day, and we are at the graveyard shift here, and you're together with us. Hopefully you're enjoying it as much as we are, though. And now Impo, once again, looking at that rollout, taking the health back, nicely done. Gonna get some alien trouble there. Bit of a UFO activity. But it's Alien that is actually taking most of the damage in this exchange. Good play by Impo. But the top is currently being contested. Omgar is duking it out, claiming himself sake, so that's really good. No more soldier for the side of France. Gonna look for another kill. That's Nevo. That's 2. Looking for a third one.
Okay.
And triple. He's looking for more. He's pumped.
Omgar
He's absolutely cracked right now.
That's a midfight you love to see as a scout, and it's worked wonderfully. Now they just got to keep it rolling forward. Also, they were saying, oh, Impo, he's been making barrels for 7 months. Clearly the demo diff does not matter whatsoever. He's been having Alien's number on these mid-fights for a while now, and it's been working well for the Dogs as they find themselves capping off second, and a lot of pressure onto Last already as well. Maybe a bit too much, maybe a bit too eager as he just gets mowed down by a scout and a heavy. But hey, a little bit of early pressure don't hurt too much. There's no way the Frenchies are pushing out of their own last anyway, although Nevo is being very keen, very aggressive. Manages to get a couple of meat shots. They're just going to go for the exchange off the back of it. Slightly better, very slightly better for Martin. Is it going to be enough to really mount anything of a push? Probably not. Matter of fact, the Frenchies are looking dire immediately in the tail end. Nevo eats so much damage, they have to back off again. They're going out to last. All they did was buy themselves more time. And I swear to God, if this goes to another golden mid, at this pace, it might very well. And I don't know how I'm going to feel about that.
Seeing how both teams are just equal, but everyone's just getting really fatigued by just how long this game is going on. And also, the whole LAN that is behind them, they were playing since like 12 or something. It's been a long day. So the fatigue is going to start setting in. Of course, everyone else is just rooting and seeing. I don't know who the favorite is. Maybe we can get some kind of poll up and see who is going to win this one, because it still could be anyone's game. I really do not know who's going to take it. I think it's just going to be 1-0 win. Oh, yeah. I just don't know who is going to be the one with the 1 point.
Is it going to be in regulation time? Is it going to be after a golden cap?
We have no idea.
Lord knows. Anything goes at this point. We're more than halfway through the map already. It felt a bit breezy already. I mean, we've seen 3 rounds effectively, right? So I guess we'll see if this last push will go anywhere. As a soldier bombs in, Kosuke goes set into the skybox. Eventually a nice arrow, actually, by Patchouli. Okay, all right.
That goes in the montage.
That one's definitely going in the montage. But
a bit of a French accent there at the end. You gotta rep your local French players, man. I mean, it's excellent.
They need everything.
I am a huge fan. Being a medic, man, looking at these medics how they play, it's just so refreshing to see. I love that. I absolutely love it. And just showing some spotlight here, Sake on the flank, making sure nobody is sneaking by the shutter. 3 minutes left on the clock on the defense, you know, for someone to cap the point. 12
to get
minutes,
back
45.
on the sniper.
Yeah, well, we'll see if he can open up some sightline there. You know, it's the dogs that are currently dishing out the cards, and they're setting up the rules for this engagement as they are on the
Nevo immediately on the counter snipe as well. He probably even checked beforehand to know that the sniper is underway.
Well, I saw, you know, Spy coming out just to see like who the
matter of fact, he's probably going back. No, not to check again, but just to be ready for whatever push may come their way.
It's gonna be one-on-one V fight. Look, whoever's gonna.
He's peeking deep again, though. Nice little headshot to ring out immediately onto Sake. He's going to be out of 5 for 1. Wins the duel as well. The snapshot through the shutter. And now he's buying himself even more space. Oh, lots of damage eaten as well, though. But he's been on top of these sniper duels. Where was he the past couple of maps?
I have no idea, but that kid's currently incredibly cracked, man. And he's just getting those shots, and that's huge for the LAN players. Keeping the player, the dream alive. Sneaky at the same time, you know. They're just like really finding that second, third, fourth, 10th wind back in their sails. It's after floundering a little bit. And now Impo is just putting a lot of damage on the enemy team, not really finding too much work really done, but at the same time, this just puts up pressure on the French team. 1 minute and 45 seconds left on the round timer, which means we might be clicking at yet another refresh. But the overall timer is slowly running out for both teams, which again could lead to yet another golden cap type
Wouldn't
situation.
be a snake water game without a bunch of round resets. Kosuke missing that one. Not quite getting that one. Unfortunate, but you know, he stays alive, stays in it, gets himself another big buff, and another angle may very well be what he needs here. Unfortunately, Nevo on the other side is ringing out some shots as well. Himpo going dangerously low. That sentry's going to make it a little bit harder for that angle, and they're playing around it. 1 minute and 10 seconds left on the clock, and we're into a pause.
Excellent. More time added to this game. That's what we want. That's what we need.
Is a tournament or pausement?
Talkament.
No, we've seen more pauses, really, but that's an interesting one because it definitely happens as this round ends.
But it actually could be incredible because, you know, if it's a technical issue and one of the teams has a technical problem, then once we unpause and they still have the technical problem,
it might end quicker, is what you're saying.
It might end quicker, and it might be quite devastating.
Though honestly,
whoever that is,
I can see either team being like, okay, look, we've gone through 3 round resets in 20 minutes. What the hell is going on?
It's clearly something's wrong.
Let's talk about this real quick. I can see this being attack pause very easily, considering when it came through, how much time we had left. It's definitely at the start of the next round, maybe just after the mid-fight. So I guess it could be technical, but it's probably a tactical pause. There's a good chance that somebody just decided, guys, what the fuck are we doing?
Whoa, language there, man.
It's after hours, okay?
Language. We have some people watching here that are not taking kindly to this, but I get you. I do get you.
It's after hours.
We have mute.
I'm allowed to have that one.
We have dedicated mute.
We should have a beeper.
I should just press it down. Keep it held down.
We need a beeper. That's all I'm saying. we can bleep ourselves.
Can we just get like one of those buttons bound to like a beep so it's funnier?
That'd be really funny. Anyway,
you know, the thing is that, like, I don't know about you, but usually when I'm getting quite tired, my brain just stops really worrying.
It is tactical.
So it's a tactical pause. So actually, it was not a technical pause. It was a tactical pause. There's some tactics being discussed. And I think, you know, considering this is the 3rd game, seeing how it has been going for both teams.
They're at their wits' end. They just want to get it over with as well.
And we have some fans in the stalls here.
The stalls?
Yeah, we have someone from Payday looking to rob the bank.
Well,
we're back in line as well. Excellent.
They managed to rob us of the time on the pause. There you go. All right. So we know that this probably goes to a round reset given when the pause happens. Realistically, I can also see that being the case. Look, the Dogs having a rough time pushing. Sure, they have an Uber ad now. I guess it could be a win for them, and maybe it's a French pause at the end. I guess anything goes. But they're also not giving themselves the best chances. Kosuke obviously having to switch off that sniper, basically just sends himself in. It's going to be an interesting one. Still a chance for the Dogs to make something happen. Perhaps it's also just bugged because I can't believe that Patchouli isn't building.
Yeah, this is just
it's got to be bugged.
I'm pretty sure both medics currently at 100%, so I wouldn't worry too much about it, or at least close to 100%. But we'll see what happens very shortly. 20 seconds left. They're pushing in hard. You know, they have the Uber charge. Might as well just use it. Phoenix in the shutters. He's looking for something. There's capture point going on almost, but the French are still very much alive, taking down 2 players from the Dogs team, and they're just simply gonna park the bus. Jumping in are the Dogs, looking for some kills there, but they're just gonna take too much damage. There's just too many rockets coming out. The kill feed has been completely slammed with the exchanges, and with only Martin alive, once again, we're going
to another round reset.
How many has it been?
This must have been the 3rd or 4th one. I think it's the third one. It's the 3rd one, yeah.
10 minutes left on the clock, though. Basically overtime already.
We're basically in the golden cap. If you think about it. I mean, the game doesn't end after the first cap, but realistically, you know, there's probably 1 round left in this, and this is where the tack pause happens.
It's like, at this point, I'm like, I just don't care anymore. Let's just... one of you guys just win, because we really need to figure out who we put in the bracket, you know? Like, there's a lot of people depending on you. Everyone's just kind of like, okay, what is going to happen? This has definitely been the most exciting, most action-packed, and most gut-wrenching, heart-wrenching, heart-destroying, heartbreaking match of this tournament for so far, and probably in recent memory I can remember that I was covering. But we're back to middle once again. Alien putting a lot of sticks, but none of them sticking. Join in by Sake. Sake, huge bomb takedown. Yippo, Koski also going down. That's a huge
Patchouli, though. They find Patchouli on the other side. Martin in a lot of danger as well, but he lives.
He does live.
He stays alive. Omger keeping his medic safe, and he's out of there. He's very much out of there. Sneaky leaves behind, lays his life down for that medic to escape, and they clean up everybody else chasing him down. It's only Alien left alive, and, well, he just has to run away, so this is a huge, monumental chance for the Dogs to turn things in their favor. Sure, they still have to cover half the map. They haven't even capped mid yet. It's a big Uber ad, but you know it's gonna dwindle fairly quickly as depending on how quickly they make their way forward. But still, it's such a nice chance already. They're gonna take a while. They will probably get second off the back of it as well, even if the Frenchies are being keen and maybe trying to catch somebody with an early bomb here, you know, get a force out of something. But realistically, even with Sake behind, they already know he's there. They're denying him getting out the window. You're not going anywhere, sir, except the respawn queue. And it's looking very good for the Dogs. Patchouli's still only 70%.
Martin, though.
Wait, when did he die? What happened? Wait, what happened to Martin?
It was a sticky trap that just dropped him there.
I didn't see it. Neither did he, evidently.
No one saw it coming. We didn't even see it happen.
He got quantum tunneled to the respawn queue, apparently.
He just got absolutely snapped out of existence. And that gives Patchouli a huge advantage and a huge boon to the French team to just keep the dream alive. So they're just going to do just that. Nevo having a bit of a scrap fight there with a flank, and Uber's coming out, but losing Nevo in the exchange, that's huge because Nevo has been basically babying Patchouli this entire time, and I don't think they're going to go through that breakup quite nicely. Now the Dogs are just simply seeing the whole mistake there, the misplay, and they're chasing down the Alien, who's in the world of trouble. Koski missing the jump, however. And now 27 HP, he's going to run away with barely any health. Now they're picking up Sake and Raph, so no soldiers up for the French team. Omger is still on the offensive, looking for the scout pickup. Looking for the scout, but slippery, slimy with this one. It's gonna finally go down, and it's Martin who claims the kill, so hey, one
redemption.
more for the
A little bit of redemption, I guess, for that one.
One more crossbow kill on the board.
And you know what? He's getting close to an Uber again. All of that, in the end, didn't matter. They're still going to have a bit of an ad. It's not as sizable this time around, but it's a chance for the Dogs nonetheless. There's not much of a defense mounted for the Frenchies just yet. No sentry, no heavy even. Finally, somebody's going to switch off. It's going to be Nevo on the sniper, at least for a bit. Maybe you can get a cheeky shot on somebody who isn't Ubered, but it's an Uber in immediately, and it's going to be on the point pressure and whether the Dogs can really do much with it. So much cap time already. A couple of, well, two frags going their way now. Lots more cap time. They just got to get these players piled on and mulch them with explosives, and that's exactly what they do. And the Dogs pick up the first round of Gully Wash. Sorry, Snake Water. My bad. It's been a while.
Wow, we actually got a point here, and that was excellently executed, honestly.
Yeah.
That's absolutely incredible, and I think they're just feeling themselves. You know, at the end of the Uber, most of the French team was still alive.
Yep.
They could have just held it, but Dogs were just like, you know what, we're already in here. Let's just get this one done, guys.
Bait people to the point, mulch them.
They just mulched them, and you know, it just simply worked, and I think it was fantastic.
Now they just gotta hold it.
Once again, Impo showing what he can do, and definitely he shows us a lot here. Once again, putting really good sticks, getting some extra chip damage. Now Sake coming in with a huge bomb, gets the demo, but Impo's just gonna narrowly survive this one. Alien, though, on the other hand, is going to go patchouli.
No.
The French are crumbling here.
I think they're out of steam. I think they're out of stamina.
Yeah.
They're just okay. They find Martin.
The dragon.
They're keeping in this, but ultimately it's still the numbers game. And just Juxta being the only survivor isn't going to make it any easier for the Frenchies to come back into this. Sure, they're going to have a scout battling for his life here. He may very well even live, but it's still a lost mid at the end of the day. Even if they have a slight edge on the side of the Frenchies, they're down around. They have 5 minutes, less than 5 minutes, to come back into this. Or it's down to the lower bracket for them tomorrow. And pray tell,
be happy with this.
They are praying for a later match tomorrow. They're praying for a later start because it's going to be a long, long night just off the back of this. And God knows what they want to do after. So I guess
the French coming in as the favorites in this matchup and now struggling to kind of survive. It is not very good looking for them. I mean, they only are down 1 point. 5 minutes, a little less than that. It's still enough time to get something done, but seeing how closely matched those teams are and how both of those teams at this point in time are very much exhausted. So this is just going to be a war of attrition, who basically gives up first, who falls down first. And right now, it seems like the French are in a back foot. Like, they need to figure something out. They need to pull something magical out of their hat. And now Sake holding on to once again on this purge, just completely denying Kosuke, which has got a bunch of chip damage there, but no follow-up means no real purchase. Impo once again is just sticking up that place. He's not going to let anyone through, and I think the French know about this one. Just going to try to blast those away. Push in. Impo with no medic attached to him currently is going to take some damage for his trouble, but he's still dishing out that chip damage. Uber's coming out, however. Nevo once again, the recipient, chasing down the demo man. Martin late pop, so that means it's much better Uber here for the side of T-Dogs, and they're just going to kind of scare away the French, but they're not really willing to follow it too much. I think they're just simply happy to play really defensively and take that 1 point and just hold it.
They can get away with it. They're up around it.
They don't risk anything more, man.
Every minute they burn off the clock here is so crucial for them. If they can just buy themselves enough time to deal with this French aggression, it's good enough. They've won. They just have to not lose the round now, and they've got a chance. Sure, it would be easier if they actually put up a bit of a fight, because they're gonna be holding last now. And while it is Snakewater last, they haven't been here in a while. The Frenchies are gonna be mounting a push immediately as best they can. Rapid gets denied out of the air as well, though, and so goes Alien. No demo for them to follow up with here. They're gonna have to do this a slow and old-fashioned way, but time is of the essence. And with only 150 seconds on the clock, it's gonna be very tight for 3.5 stars to find this one crucial push they need.
All the crazy picks are going to start coming out of Dogs. You know, they're not willing to risk anything right now. So the sniper, again, is sneaky picking that up. Omgar is on Angie. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a heavy weapons guy out of Phoenix or Kosuke. So it really could be anything. And Uber's coming out immediately. They're not wasting any time. They know they cannot waste any time, and they're pushing really hard. No one is on the point right now. Martin is milking that Uber charge for all he can. He's going to pop really late, and now Patchouli and Nevo both going down. Sake, low HP, is going to get cleaned up. Alien, low as well. Going to get chased by the enemy team. Impo claiming a bunch of kills. I think he's in the 6K streak right now. Alien's just like running away with his tail tucked between his legs at the moment. 2 minutes left on the clock. Surny.
The dogs have been let out. The dogs have been unleashed.
Stressing me out, man.
They are no longer on a leash. They are free to roam. And I think they're really...
A pack of wolves, more
They're really angry. Yeah, they're like pit bulls or something. They're really trying to just get this done with.
Breed.
Very aggressive. I guess we'll see. Frenchies have another chance here. They got 1.5 minutes to try and mount this dry push. I mean, they gotta. They don't have no choice. 2 soldiers dead before anything even happens. But they find Martin.
That's huge.
And that is exactly what they need. Get that Uber as fast as possible. Your soldiers are going to be back in time. Get that push going. It's the only chance this French team still has to stay in the upper bracket for tomorrow. Otherwise, they are done.
That's going to be such a heartbreak. It's going to be such an immense heartbreak. I'm going to hear 6 hearts just crack in the background if that happens. In French, with French subtitles. But it is absolutely huge right now, and they really need to do something magical here. They need to pull this off. 45 seconds. Uber's coming out immediately. They're pushing in hardcore. There's a sniper shot on an on-flash Juxta. Nevo's on the point, but he's going to get cleaned out by Impo. Impo is absolutely huge right now. And then Sake is going to get pushed out. 2 scouts dead. Now 2 soldiers about to die. No, they're still alive. Patchouli is keeping them alive with those arrows. Impo's going to get cleaned up. It really could be anyone's game still. but Juli's still alive. He's still taking, he's keeping this. Omgar is still on the heavy weapons guy. He's just doing everything he can, but that heavy weapons guy is just gonna absolutely put a damper in this push. 70 seconds left, but Julie on no HP. Scouts just respawn. They're just gonna throw everything they can on this point, but look, Dog's just sitting there, almost like a victory screen. Oh,
jeez.
My God.
Who would have seen this coming?
Nobody, man.
Nobody believed. Nobody thought it could be done. Nobody thought the Dogs were going to be beating the Frenchies, 3.5 stars.
Underdogs, man.
Into the lower bracket.